Devils into Eugene, where the Ducks are looking for 2 in a row. But first, the dangerous Darren Sproles leads K-State into College Station, where Texas A&M has built a revitalized wrecking crew. Don't adjust your set. TDS is giving you double vision. Kansas State and Texas A&M, followed by Arizona State and Oregon. Next.
And we welcome you to Kyle Field in College Station tonight. Kansas State, the defending champion, takes on the Aggies of Texas A&M. Hello again, everybody. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Ron Thulin. Let's talk Darren Sproles at Kansas State. Led the nation in rushing last year, number 3 this year. He is a Heisman Trophy candidate, but is it? As Darren goes, so goes the K-State offense.
The answer to that question is yes. Darren Sproles makes Kansas State go. Why? He's tough, he's quick, he's durable. He's one of those guys that when he touches the ball, everyone comes out of their seat because you never know when he's going to break a tackle or two, make a move, and go the distance. Right now, for the season, he's averaging 30 carries per ball game. Tonight, it may be 40, and they also like to utilize him in the pass game. But the key to tonight for Kansas State is their quarterback, Dylan Meyer. He must complete some passes to the wide receivers in order for Darren Sproles to have some running room in this ball game.
Well, the Texas A&M defense has played well this year. They're not the wrecking crew yet, but this is the first time this season they've played an old-fashioned offensive football team like Kansas State.
And their defensive coordinator, Tarl Torbush, he says yes, he's very happy to play some old-style football. 2 backs in the backfield, an offensive line that comes at you. You don't have to chase them. Tonight he finds out if his players can stand up to the challenge, and he believes that they can. The last 2 ball games, only 6 points allowed combined and only 55 rush yards. They'll get a test tonight, but the big key for Texas A&M, making sure that Darren Sproles only averages about 3 yards per touch. If they can do that and get off the field on 3rd down, then Texas A&M will be in good shape.
Well, Kansas State has the best road record in Big 12 Conference history, but they've lost 3 straight to Texas A&M. Now let's send it to our studios in Atlanta. Here's Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you very much, Ron Thulin. And the producers here said we have a doubleheader on TBS. We got to get some company for Ernie in that studio. And so the call went out. And who was man enough to accept the call? The coach, John Mackovic.
Not that Maggie's back in town. Look out, old Maggie's back.
No, it wasn't that special. Coach, it's great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Ernie.
And what better guy to have in here on a Pac-10 Big 12 doubleheader than a guy who's coached in both conferences at both Texas and at Arizona. It's great to see you. And these guys have talked about Darren Sproles and what he might be able to do in this game. Shed a little more light on him for me.
Well, what most people don't think about is you have to kick off to him. He's number 2 in the nation in kickoff returns, 38.5 yards. So if Texas A&M scores, they may kick it back. But I'm not ready to start yet, Ernie. You know, if you're a coach, the first thing you have to hit, you got to have your playbook. So I brought
you expect me to?
Yeah. Now that's what we do, all right?
Okay, I'll know a page of that before it's all over.
Of course, you know, as a coach, you have to have some chapstick because you talk a lot.
Okay.
So I brought that here, and we're ready to go with that. And, of course, a stopwatch. We'll be timing guys all night tonight, stuff like that. What's a coach without a whistle? Got to have a whistle. Now,
not that you missed the coaching game at all, John.
We'll start giving that to you. Okay.
I see by the stopwatch we're almost out of time.
You know, maybe
Arizona State and Oregon will be here. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Arizona State
a coach without a headset. And then, how about this one? Right. You know?
I can hardly wait. What else?
Why don't I start drawing plays for you right here?
This is good.
See, here,
and the headset.
Look at that.
So it's going to be one of those nights, huh?
And it's all this. Woo! Go deep. Can't wait. That's me, right?
We'll be back at halftime, I think. Enjoy the game, folks.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, turn on
TBS. I want to be Call Girl meets Park Avenue. Then you're going to have to pair that with a nice little cardigan.
Everybody wants it.
2 nights.
Twice a night.
With the best sex still to come.
I'd like to get me some of that.
I'm Candy. You're a candy striper.
Sex and the City. Tuesdays at 9 and Wednesdays at 10 on TBS.
Are you searching for the great fajita? Chili's sizzling steak and portobello mushroom fajitas. Tender, juicy grilled steak topped with grilled marinated portobello mushrooms and then served with warm flour tortillas and a chimichurri sauce you can drizzle on for even more flavor. Chili's steak and portobello mushroom fajitas. Want more flavor in your life?
Welcome to Chili's.
During the game, complete strangers unite, holding their fingers aloft in celebration of their team's greatness. But after the game, some of those same fans use their fingers for other purposes. When you leave the game, try to exercise some patience. You might even qualify for an Allstate Safe Driver discount, because good sportsmanship should extend to the road. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine. I put a spell on you. What's up? Because
we are in the business of winning.
In 2002, Sports Illustrated chose a story about a group of high school kids.
This is our time. Yeah.
Their coach.
Be calm in there. Keep you cool.
And their small town.
Gonna win state? Yeah.
As one of the greatest sports stories ever told.
it's our team. Let's go right now. Let's do it.
Run. We gotta step it up. I don't want this to never end. Never.
Rated PG-13 at theaters Friday.
College football on TBS, brought to you by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. Best Buy, thousands of possibilities. Get yours. The Home Depot, go from wondering how to knowing how. At the Home Depot, you can do it. We can help. And Chili's, want more flavor in your life? Come to Chili's. Just outside of College Station, Texas, a very familiar sight, a barn, but inside another familiar sight. Aggie faithful, upwards of 70,000 on hand for this conference opener. Well, the third member of our broadcast team is Darren Elliott. Darren, tonight we are going to see A&M with the three-headed monster Murphy, McNeil, and Lewis for the first time together this year.
Yeah, they're as healthy on that side of the ball as they've ever been. They're very confident they're going to be able to score some points. When you take a look at McNeil and Lewis are coming off great games against Clemson, they get Terrence Murphy back, the senior wideout. The thing is, though, when Darren Sproles enters into it, if he's chewing up yardage, taking time off the clock, they know they can score points. They just don't know how much time they'll have to do it in. Guys?
All right, Darren, look forward to having you part of our team. There is Darren Sproles, as Coach Mack mentioned, number 2 in the country in kickoff returns. Now, A&M said if they kick with the wind, they want to boot it out of the end zone. If they kick against the wind, they wanted to pooch kick it. They don't want Darren Sproles to return it. They are going with the wind right now. Here's Wayne Newman. And it'll be Dennis at the 10, up to the 30, to the 35-yard line, to the 32-yard line. So they did kick away from Darren Sproles. Kansas State offense looking for more balance. They're led by quarterback Dylan Meyer, the first Kansan to open a season a quarterback under Bill Snyder. And when they talk about Dylan Meyer, they say this young man's got poise and composure, a Jonathan Beasley type.
He's one of those guys that's a true student of the game. Even in high school, after a Friday night game, he'd wait till midnight when the head coach had the game film, drop by his house and watch the game film right then and there in order to get his critique in. He's a guy who's very heady, and they really like him. They just need him to get more experience.
We want to see how he's going to handle this noise. And there we see Texas A&M jumping around on defense. Sproles right side, has some running room. Hits the crease as he goes over the 40 up to the 42-yard line. Let's take a look at our U.S. Army of One starting lineup. The rest of that offense of Kansas State. 4 seniors on the line. They're only giving up 2 sacks so far this year. Doty and Clary are solid at the tackle spot. The tight end, keep an eye on Brian Casey, number 2 on the team in receptions. A&M coaches very aware of him. They think he could be a game breaker tonight. Pick up a 5 for Sproles. He's joined by Victor Mann in the backfield. Sproles again, pulls his way over the 45 up to the 46-yard line. Johnny Jolly on the stop. A&M defense, they've kept opponents scoreless 7 of the last 8 quarters. The line getting solid play from Mike Montgomery. On linebacker, senior Keelan Jackson from Garland coming off a 10-tackle performance against Clemson. Secondary has 4 picks this year. Buell and Jones, the 2 quarterbacks, each have 1. 3rd down and 2 for Kansas State. Two tight end formation, A&M jumps. Whistle on the flag on the play. Looked like Red Bryant jumping from that defensive tackle position. Steve Juszczyk, our referee tonight. Got a good, solid Big 12 crew on hand.
Dead ball. Outside. Defense. Number 85. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Watch Bryant, number 85. He gets a quick start. Problem with that just gives Kansas State an automatic first down. That's Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator for Texas A&M. He understands how difficult it's going to be tonight to stop Darren Sproles. What he's telling his defense is, let's not give him an easy one. He didn't even have to work for that one.
Well, they were concerned about penalties coming into this game. They're averaging almost 10 penalties a game. Dylan Meyer over center gets a fresh set of downs. Keeps it, bangs his way. Have another penalty flag thrown as he gets down to about the 42-yard line. Jackson Appel on the stop. We saw right there Dylan Meyer. Last year, L. Roberson, very dangerous runner. Face mask penalty, second one against A&M. Very dangerous runner. We were asking Coach Fran, are you concerned about Dylan Meyer running the ball? So this guy's got ability. He can run the football.
Incidental face mask on a defense. 5-yard penalty. Makes it a first down.
This is the quarterback run game for Kansas State. Watch Dylan Meyer, the quarterback, number 9. He's going to fake it inside to Darren Sproles, but look who his lead blocker is. Number 43, Sproles, getting up into the hole and helping get a block on the play. Normally, you fake it inside to the back. He goes opposite. Quarterback goes in the other direction. This time, Sproles, after the fake, led Dylan Meyer for a nice gain.
And picked up another first down, 1st and 10. 2 minutes gone by here in the first. Sproles stopped at the backfield, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Fans, this telecast is available with Spanish translation via the SAP button on your remote control. Well, what we've seen so far here in the first quarter, these first few plays, Charles, is the fact that after the Fresno State game, Kansas State's offense was challenged by Bill Snyder to get more physical and tough. We're seeing that in their blocking right now.
They wanted them to be tougher up front. They thought they were getting away from Kansas State football. They want to establish the tone early tonight by using the big guys up front, pounding on Texas A&M, and giving Darren Sproles all the touches he can handle.
Norwood, the tight end in motion. They'll run the action. They want to feather this out. They're able to corral Meyer after a pickup of 2. Jory Adams, the redshirt freshman out of Jasper, Texas, coming up with the stop. Classic way how to stop a pitch.
Great job by Carl Torbush's defense, because watch to the top of your screen. You'll see number 11, Byron Jones, the corner, right there. When he went to the top of the screen, he took away the pitch to Darren Sproles, forced Dylan Meyer, the quarterback, to keep it and turn it inside. That's exactly what they want. They'd rather have Meyer carrying the ball than number 43, Sproles. The potential for a big play obviously resides with Darren Sproles.
Figures, Polite and Dennis, the wide receivers. They go with a 3 wide receiver set. Sproles alone in the backfield. Meyer from the shotgun. Here comes A&M on the blitz. Meyer scrambling. Looks out to the flat. Pass complete. Down to the 25-yard line to Davin Dennis, the junior out of St. James, Louisiana. It looks like he got poked in the eye on the play. His 8th reception of the year.
How about this for a confidence builder, Ron? Early in the ballgame, Dylan Meyer threw 10 passes in their win against Louisiana Lafayette. He completed 7. But in a game like that, you would expect Kansas State to work a little more in their pass game. They only let him throw it 10 times. We see Davin Dennis there getting a little attention. But Dylan Meyer needs that confidence early that he can complete passes in order to open up the run lanes for Darren Sproles inside.
Picked up 10 on the play. Another 1st and 10 for Kansas State. Nice drive going on. That was their first pass of the night. Sproles makes that quick cut, gets down to the 20-yard line. Keelan Jackson coming up from that linebacker spot, the senior out of Garland, Texas. you have got to keep leverage if you're going to try to tackle Darren Sproles.
It's a great point, because leverage meaning not overrunning plays, being able to take away the cutbacks from him, being able to cover every lane, every avenue available to him, because if he can find any sort of crease or crack, he can slip into it. And not only does he have speed, he runs with power. Very compact, very sturdy.
And they're ahead of schedule after first down, 2nd and 5. Jumping again. Looks like it was John Doty off that left tackle spot, the big senior out of West Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah, the big fella got off a little quick on the count.
Those are drive killers.
And you just mentioned ahead of schedule. That puts him back.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Instead of 2nd and 5, now you go to 2nd and 10. Changes your playbook if you're Bill Snyder, the head coach and key play caller for Kansas State. He's making his decision right now what he wants. But if you're Kansas State also with this drive, balls on the 25, he might be thinking 4-down territory, not necessarily just getting in position for 3 downs. Because he has Darren Sproles, he could very well run it the next 3 plays.
You can see the Home Depot 1st and 10 line at about the 15-yard line. Back to Sproles, looking to throw it. He's throwing. Pass. No. Kept it, ran. He was starting to cock the arm, wasn't he?
He was. He had to look downfield, but that guy, Darren Sproles, I thought he was just a tailback. No, he's now a quarterback also. He was looking for Rashad Norwood, number 89, the tight end. Texas A&M not fooled on the play. Excellent coverage downfield by number 28, Japhus Brown. But Darren Sproles having the presence of mind to tuck it under and run for 7.5, almost 8 yards, making it 3rd and short.
What a weapon if he can throw it.
If the red zone possessions, 43% of those have been touchdowns. That's not what you want for percentage. You expect that percentage to be double if you have the offense that Kansas State usually has.
Now the A&M defense, their opponent's 4 of 4 in the red zone. Hanging ahead to the right side, down to about the 12-yard line. Should be good for a 1st down. Appel and Byron Jones coming up for the stop. And the more carries he gets, the better he gets.
And look at what he's getting up front. See how big the offensive linemen are. See number 64, Woolridge, Malcolm Woolridge leading. Number 42, Victor Mann, the fullback. Because they're so big and tall and strong, Darren Sproles at 5'7" can get down behind them, and people can't find it. That makes you less confident as a defender trying to chase the football. You don't know where it is. You're not sure where to go.
1st down. They can get another one at the 3-yard line. They're at the 12 now. Sproles breaks over the left side, inside the 5, down about the 3-yard line. Manning on the stop, as he is 1 touchdown away from tying L. Roberson's record of 40 career touchdowns. Carl Torbish is seeing the young man just run through big holes.
Look at him, just pounding through there. But the key to it all has been the offensive line. Malcolm Woolridge, number 64, in the last 2 plays, has pulled from his left guard position, folded around, and gotten key blocks that have kicked Darren Sproles free. The key play in this drive thus far was the fake halfback pass.
Right.
Because Darren Sproles got him back on schedule and made it 3rd and short after it had been 2nd and 10 with his nice run.
We want to thank Allstate for providing tonight's goalpost cam. You're in good hands with Allstate. Meyer on the sneak. Gets down to about the 2-foot line. That'll bring up a 1st down and goal. And Coach Fran has to be concerned because, as we mentioned, Wyoming game and Clemson game, nobody has run the ball successfully against him. Now, granted, Clemson's a throwing football team, but he has not seen his defense have to go up this type of sustained drive in the last 2 games.
We talked about it a bit at the Open. The first 3 games were all spread-type offenses. Didn't have the big power guys in the backfield. This game, you've got a big fullback in Victor Mann, number 42, leading behind a big offensive line, and they're coming at you right now. Take a look. There's Victor Mann, number 42. He's the fullback. He'll be the guy leading Darren Sproles on this play.
Meyer keeps it, follows the left side over. Touchdown, Kansas State. Dylan Meyer with his 4th rushing touchdown of the year, and that was an impressive drive for the Wildcats.
Almost doesn't seem fair, does it? Darren Sproles carries it all the way downfield. Dylan Meyer sneaks across, but look at the record. 102-8 when scoring 1st in the game since 1990. Bill Snyder's regime makes it clear. When we jump on top of you, we like to seal the deal.
12 plays, 7 of them had Darren Sproles running the football. No Rain for the extra point. Sneaks it in. It's good. 11 for 11 on the year. 48 in a row. Gets right behind Malcolm Woolridge and John Doty. Sneaks in for the touchdown. We are in the first quarter, and Kansas State has taken a 7-0 lead.
Can inspiration make the SUV safer? It can, with 5-star government crash test ratings, available side curtain airbags for all 3 rows, ABS, and available all-wheel drive. The best rating of any SUV tested for rollover resistance. Chrysler Pacifica. We didn't just make an SUV, we made a safety utility vehicle. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
Tuesday at 8. The journey begins. The mystery will be revealed, and the unknown will find him. Austin Stevens, Snake Master, a world premiere Animal Planet event, premieres Tuesday at 8. Only on Animal Planet. Living, breathing, entertainment.
No offense, but if you can lose all the weight you want easily, Cortislim is not for you. I'm Dr. Greg Cinnamone, and this very special dietary supplement was formulated for people who struggle with weight and have all but given up. Research suggests that it may not be all your fault that you're overweight and that controlling specific hormones can produce results. Lose the weight by making Cortislim the scientific centerpiece of your diet and exercise routine.
Call 1-800-266-3195. That's 1-800-266-3195.
Bill Snyder wanted toughness. He said his offensive line is a work in progress, but we saw the fruition of that work over the last 2 weeks on that drive. Dylan Meyer sneaking it in from 1 yard out. And with 7:37 left in quarter number 1, Kansas State, a 7-0 lead over Texas A&M.
And what an impressive first drive for Kansas State against a defense that had only given up 6 points in their last 2 games.
Jason Carter from the 10 on the room kick. Looks for a seam, got it as he gets over the 20 up to the 22-yard line. Now the Texas A&M offense very balanced. They averaged 200 yards pass and rush. Of course, Reggie McNeil, the quarterback, the #1 rushing quarterback in the conference. But just like he did as a high schooler in Lufkin, Texas, he's taken over this team. No big surprise to many.
Yet the maturity of Reggie McNeil from the first 2 years to this year is astounding as far as the Texas A&M organization is concerned. His high school coach says he's always had it. He brought us from back in deficits and playoff games at Lufkin High, but it had to develop even more here at A&M. He told his coach, Coach Fran, in January, I want to be a better leader. Help me. And he's done so.
Terrence Murphy wide to the left. This is interesting. They are very powerful offensively with him in the lineup. McNeil's first pass tipped and caught. Irvin Taylor off the hands of Boone Stutz. Now Boone Stutz, who had 4 receptions in that Clemson game, almost had one tonight.
Watch what these guys are going to do. Receiver here, tip right there from Stutz, and it goes right into the hands of Irvin Taylor. Why was that possible? Because he had 2 receivers running the same route at different depths and at different widths. So the ball actually went on a diagonal from the tight end off of the tip who he was trying to hit to the wide receiver who was in the same vicinity at a deeper angle.
Keep it on the ground. Picking up a couple on the play as we take a look at the rest of the Texas A&M offense. The line played every snap versus Clemson. Coaches say redshirt freshman Chris Yoder at the center spot is the key. And at running back spot, keep an eye on Courtney Lewis, a sophomore from Houston, Texas, coming off that huge performance versus Clemson. Didn't even play in the game before, played sparingly in the game before that. Courtney Lewis, what's he do? Comes in, throws 165 at him with 2 TDs.
Yeah, and looked so sharp doing it. Had a bad ankle. That's why he missed the previous game. Looked like the ankle had healed. Empty set for Texas A&M.
5 wide receivers. McNeil gets the coverage. Incomplete. Here comes a late flag. Intended for Jason Carter. Maurice Thurman, the weak side linebacker, may have gotten on his back.
And the protest from Kansas State will come from the fact that the back judge, Homer Jackson, threw that flag from about 30 yards depth when they had a couple of guys about 5 yards from the line of scrimmage who determined the play good. So Kansas State will be upset by that one. Well, Homer Jackson felt like he had the best view from the backside, if that's the call.
Defensive pass interference on a 57, spot foul, automatic first down.
Now let's take a look at the Kansas State defense on the line. Jermaine Berry hasn't had problems tackling. He's second on the team in tackles. Linebacker spot, Matt Butler, the junior from Manhattan, leads the linebackers corps, but he must play big tonight. And in the secondary, free safety Brett Jones, a junior college transfer, gets his first start of the year, and the coaches love that young man.
Junior college transfer who's adapted quickly to life in Manhattan, Kansas. He's a playmaker, say his coaches.
Little play action for McNeil. Rifles the pass, has a man open again. It's Nope, check that. Jason Carter.
Take a look here. Watch the receivers going downfield. Vertical routes. All right, I end up getting an extra arrow in there, but how about that for 2 verticals? Boom, boom. Right down the field. Great throw by Reggie McNeil, catching him on a line.
Pick up a 26 on the play. Jason Carter, 7 receptions coming into tonight. The senior out of Caldwell, Texas, which is just down the road from College Station. McNeil keeps it. Gets inside the 35, picks up maybe a half a yard on the play. Devin Huntley on the stop. One of the things that Coach Franchione wanted to do during the bye week last week, he said, gentlemen, we need to win the bye week. What did he mean by that?
You mean after he got all the quizzical looks back at him when he told the team that? What he meant was there were 9 teams last week in the Big 12 that didn't have a game, had an open week and were practicing. What he meant was we need to improve more than any of those other teams will during the open week to carry us the rest of the season. And he thinks that they've made good progress towards winning it. He'll find out tonight.
3 wide receivers to the left. McNeil again looking for the little slip screen to Lewis. Was he just a tad too low? And Courtney can't bend over and pick that one up.
It's great coverage inside. Sorry, Ron, you need to step in there, but that was great coverage inside by Jermaine Berry.
Berry, the big senior out of Wichita, Kansas. Bill Snyder has done such a great job, and you know that he had his struggles against Fresno State, but what he's done after the bye week, 10-3 record following the bye week. Unfortunately, he's dropped the last 2 following a bye week.
He wants to change that back.
Record.
Still an outstanding record, but he wants to get back on pace.
3rd down and 10. McNeil will try to throw again, tries the screen. And right there is that Kansas State defense tripping up Courtney Lewis. They had a bunch of guys leading the charge. David Rose, the senior out of Richmond, California, was the first to make the stop.
Watch here in the middle. Watch, that's Jermaine Berry, number 91. It's a zone blitz. How do I know? He rushes. Now watch him drop back into coverage. That means there are extra defenders back in coverage, allowing the corner to come up quickly, show himself. David Rose, number 28, and make an excellent play and force a punt by Texas A&M.
Jacob Young. Average isn't that good, but they like what this young man's doing. Loss of 4 on the play, by the way, and there you see Sproles standing back at his 10-yard line. Young takes a long time to kick it away. Kansas State doesn't come, they peel back. Sproles calls the fair catch at about the 6-yard line. 24 yards on the kick. Darren Sproles and Kansas State with the lead in A&M. They don't need the 12th man yet, but they may. It's still early.
Sunday on TBS.
I think we're going in!
Get ready to be blown away.
Where's my truck? There it is.
Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton.
Cow. Another cow.
Actually, I think that was the same one.
I gotta go, Julia. We got cows.
Twister, Sunday at 8/7 Central on TBS.
You can turn your master bath into a masterpiece. The Home Depot can show you how, with elegant designs for your bath you won't find anywhere else. We'll help you freshen up with a style that's distinctively yours. All the best brands are here, and no one beats our prices. Right now, get a $50 gift card with any Kohler purchase of $350 or more. Create a personal private retreat. You can. Only at the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
How inspiring can a minivan be? Can it give you seats when you need them? And space when you don't? Yes. Introducing the all-new Chrysler Town & Country, the only minivan with stow-and-go seating and storage. Chrysler Town & Country, starting at $21,185. Chrysler, inspiration comes standard.
Kansas State with their second possession of the ball game, and they lead Texas A&M 7-0. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Home Depot. Along with Darren Elliott, Charles Davis, I'm Ron Thulin. Welcome you back to a very humid but somewhat pleasant College Station, Texas, where Dylan Meyer has snuck in from the 1-yard line, and that has given the Wildcats the lead.
And this is a big series defensively for Texas A&M after the way Kansas State ran it down their throats on the first drive of the game.
Sproles up to about the 9-yard line. You know, we talked about Kansas State wanting to have a balanced offense. They have with Dylan Meyer and, of course, with Darren Sproles running the football.
Yeah, and their balance right now is number 43 carrying the football. First drive of the game, he touched it 7 times. Ran it right down Texas A&M's gut. Even faked the pass on a halfback option, pulled it down, got 8 yards on that play. And I thought that was the key play of the drive. Got them back on schedule offensively, made it 3rd and short instead of 3rd and long. Look at that, 35 yards already, 5-yard average. I said they need to keep him to 3. He's ahead of pace.
Meyer keeps it, has the left side open, gets upended at the 15-yard line. Jonte Buell coming up to make the stop. They're going to mark it at about the 15.5. He'll be about a yard short of the first down.
And Ron, you used the word balance. We saw this play earlier. Fake inside, now he uses Victor Mann, number 42, as his lead blocker. Nice bruising run, good tackle by Jonte Buell, but he used the word balance for Kansas State's offense. We were thinking Darren Sproles running, Dylan Meyer passing. Tonight the balance is Darren Sproles running, Dylan Meyer running. That's his 5th run already, and they're only on their 2nd drive.
3rd down. Kansas State 2 of 2, all right, ready tonight. From the eye. Throws, hit, fumble! Picked up! Down to the 13-yard line. Melvin Bullitt made the hit. Renuel Green with a recovery.
Look for Jackson Appel coming right inside. Bam, that's him, number 19, the free safety. Came inside, unblocked on a stunt, knocked the ball free. Darren Sproles has had a little bit of a fumbling problem this year. Dropped 2 against Louisiana Lafayette, although he ran for 292 yards. Spent a little extra time working on ball security drills, but on that play, that was just a fantastic tackle by Jackson Appel. Head on the football, popped it out. A&M in business near the 10-yard line.
And that is a huge story right there on that graphic. Has been a big difference. 2nd consecutive game, Darren Sproles has popped up the football, had 2 versus Louisiana Lafayette. Lewis looking for something, gets down to about the 11-yard line. You know, and that's one of the things that Darren Sproles felt so badly about. He had this huge game a couple of weeks ago against Louisiana Lafayette, but he did pop the ball up twice. Sunday morning, what did he do? He was out there carrying the football just by himself, trying to hold on to it.
And no one told him to do it. No coaches were out there with him. Bill Snyder was watching film, just looked outside his window, and Darren Sproles working on ball security drills in an empty stadium by himself. No fanfare, just trying to get it done. You know that young man will be back. Big drive here, though, for Texas A&M. Bunch formation with a little motion right now.
Little razzle, a little dazzle. But not much yards, and I think the ball is down. Now we have a penalty flag thrown by Steve Juszczyk.
And that's going to be a penalty against Texas A&M, and a bad penalty because it looked like Aldo De La Garza, the offensive lineman, very late block after the play was essentially dead. That moves the ball back. Should be a 15-yard penalty for a personal foul because that's one that his coach is going to show him on film. Aldo, we love you, block him, but we sure didn't need this.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 76 on the offense. It's going to be 3rd down, 15-yard penalty.
And he's going out of the ball game too because Coach Fran is hot because they're in great field position, in good shape. And now it's a 15-yard penalty. It changes everything you do in terms of play calling. Now instead of thinking 6, you're thinking make sure you get in position and get no less than 3. And after a turnover that deep in the opposition's territory, look at Coach Fran. He's getting after him pretty well. You've got to be intelligent as a football player, not just physical.
3rd penalty already for the Aggies. The dead ball foul, so they push it back 15. 3rd down and 27. Ball at the 29-yard line. K-State brings 3. Plenty of time for McNeil. Now throws it up, looking in the end zone, has a man. Touchdown, Terrence Murphy. First game back, first touchdown in 2 years for Terrence Murphy.
And watch Reggie McNeil in the pocket. You mentioned it, partner. He had time to throw the ball, but he still had to move around a little to find a clear lane. And then Terrence Murphy came back to the football on David Rose, used his body to shield him off, and made the catch. And on the sidelines, Aldo De La Garza breathed a big sigh of relief. He's off the hook for his penalty.
Well, at least till the game films tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, he'll hear about it.
Oh, yeah. Terrence Murphy, the senior out of Tyler, Texas, comes up with a touchdown pass, his first touchdown reception in a couple of years, and we are tied.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough.
I'm full!
Taco Bell's new Big Bell Value Menu, featuring the spicy chicken burrito with shredded chicken simmered in authentic Mexican spices. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
Can inspiration make the SUV safer? It can, with 5-star government crash test ratings, available side curtain airbags for all 3 rows, ABS, and available all-wheel drive. The best rating of any SUV tested for rollover resistance. Chrysler Pacifica. We didn't just make an SUV, we made a safety utility vehicle. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
You've waited, you've dreamed, and now it's finally back. Endless Shrimp at Red Lobster. The only time of year to enjoy all the shrimp you can eat. Don't miss Endless Shrimp right now, only at Red Lobster.
It's more than the coaches. More than the fans. More than the players. Than the game. Big 12 Conference, more than the game.
The highest ranking member of the Corps here at Texas A&M, Reveille 7. She likes what she sees, 7-7. We are tied. 1:48 to play in the first quarter. Murphy hooking up with Reggie McNeil on the touchdown pass. McNeil's second touchdown pass of the year.
How about Reggie McNeil in the pocket? You know, he didn't get a ton of pressure, but he got enough that he had to move around, but he didn't take off and start running immediately, something he would have done the last 2 seasons. This time he just used a little slide step, reestablished himself, and delivered a strike downfield.
Newman with just the sock on the left foot set to kick it away. And it's going to be Sproles who drops it again, still loose on the ground. He gets swarmed over at the 13-yard line. Ronald Jones on the stop. What a game today with Notre Dame taking on Purdue, but a big game for Purdue, right, Ernie?
Well, absolutely, Ron. In fact, Purdue had not won at South Bend since 1974. This is a huge return by Jerome Brooks with a little help, Coach.
Oh, I did. Here we see Ambrose Wooden. He gets a spin move on him, and he didn't wrap him up with his arms. And, of course, they don't have the most speed at Notre Dame, so we're off to the races.
100 yards on the button as it goes in the books, and Purdue rolls over Notre Dame. Ron?
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, EJ. Thomas Clayton now in the lineup in the backfield for Kansas State. You have to think Darren Sproles is thinking too much about holding on to the football now.
And I'm looking at 8 in the box, meaning 8 guys near the line of scrimmage. Dylan Meyer has to take a timeout because of the movement of the defense of Carl Torbush of Texas A&M.
And Bill Snyder doesn't like what he sees right there, and we'll step aside too. Less than 1:45 to play in the first, and we're knotted up at 7 in this Big 12 conference opener.
Where does reality end and pure vision begin?
It all starts with a Pioneer plasma display. The purest color, the purest experience. Pure vision. Only from Pioneer.
Over 200 ways to become an army of one. Log on to GoArmy.com.
We saw the effects of the noise and the movement of Kansas State, of Nebraska, or A&M, I should say, on that last possession. Jumping around, Kansas State had to call a timeout. Don't you think that just makes A&M want to do it even more now?
Without a doubt. It just emboldens you. Now that you forced them into a timeout, now they're going to continue to move and disguise, and they hopefully will get him to check and then move again, so they move into his checked-off play.
Rolls back into the lineup, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose 4 on the play. Well, Darren Elliott down on the sidelines, one of the things Texas A&M wants to do is try to cause turnovers. We've already seen one tonight.
Yeah, you talk about forcing things. They force the turnover, they get the touchdown. That has been a point of emphasis for this Texas A&M team. Coach Fran, tip drills, takeaway drills at the end of practice. That's been back since spring practice. Last year they were last in the Big 12. Now they're +8 through 3+ games. Guys, it's working for them.
That it is. Turnover, takeaway drill every day to end practice, as Darren just talked about. And it forces the defense to be conscious of scripting and the offense to be conscious of taking care of the football. It works both ways.
They fake it, they hand it. Sproles up to the 15, to the 20, to the 21-yard line, short of the first down.
Take a look at number 43, Darren Sproles, right here. Watch him. He fakes a block, comes all the way around on the old Statue of Liberty. Victor Mann, number 42, out leading. Good pursuit by Texas A&M. That's a nice call by Bill Snyder, but you have to wonder if Carl Trobush is not grinning because Bill Snyder's having to open the playbook awfully early in this game now.
3rd down and 3.
Crowd noise into it. Kansas State works on it often, but that's the second timeout that Dylan Myers had to take because of confusion with the call and the formations.
I think that look on Bill Snyder's face tells it all. A timeout with 14 seconds left in the quarter. Well, this telecast is a copyrighted presentation of Texas A&M University, a member of the Big 12 Conference. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Texas A&M University or the Big 12 Conference.
Ron, one thing I need to talk about here for us. We heard the crowd noise. We saw Dylan Meyer trying to get his checks in. Couldn't get it done. Had the crowd noise, called his second timeout. You pointed out 14 seconds left in the first quarter. When we talked with the Kansas State coaches, we asked them specifically, were they worried about crowd noise? There's no indication they were because we work on it even during spring practice. At least 3 times a week, we work on our hand signals, our silent counts, all of those things to take away crowd noise. The problem, though, is that they have a sophomore quarterback in Dylan Meyer. It's not L. Roberson last year as a senior.
Right.
And the most success, as you point out to me in a meeting, Kansas State has been with a senior quarterback because Bill Snyder's system is so complex.
And a lot of it depends on that man right there. Sproles now in the backfield.
And the crowd will be into it now because they've realized that they are a factor in the game.
A&M showing blitz. Here they come with 6. Myers throws, pass, caught for Casey. Over the 45, up to the 48-yard line. We told you at the top of the show the A&M coaches were concerned with him going down the middle and being a game breaker. Carl Torbush telling us this kid can play football.
And that he can because what they did was they showed receivers to the left, multiple receivers, and snuck Brian Casey out to the right. Really was a blown coverage, a 26-yard pickup on a strike from Meyer to Casey. And 86 is a guy you've got to keep an eye on because he makes big catches.
7th reception of the year, and that's the way the first quarter is going to end. So Kansas State draws first blood with a touchdown run by Dylan Meyer, but then Terrence Murphy and Reggie McNeil hook it up. We're tied at 7 at the end of the first 15.
crack of bats, the roar of fans, the sweet smell of pine tar. MLB 2005 is here. There's Sean Green going deep. Looking good, Adam Dunn. MLB 2005 has everything you love about the game and a nifty online mode so you can play folks across the country. Isn't that right, Eric Chavez? We'll take that as a yes. Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation 2, now just $149.
There are over 200 ways to become an army of one. Log on to GoArmy.com.
You're on the edge of the boat. He can smell your fear. You've wanted it all your life. No opportunity wasted. A new series. In the premiere episode, one man comes face to face with his paralyzing fear. To live his biggest dream, he must face his worst nightmare. No opportunity wasted. A new series premiering tomorrow at 8 Eastern, only on the Discovery Channel.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or to the state? American Tax Relief can settle your tax debt for a fraction of the amount. We can also remove penalties and interest, stop wage garnishments and bank levies, even remove tax liens. Our staff of tax professionals has successfully settled out thousands of tax debt cases nationwide. If you owe the IRS or the state between $10,000 and $5 million, call American Tax Relief.
Call 800-493-8112 or go online at 9save.com.
Now you can check out the PlayStation truck and some of the great and wild Aggie fans having some fun playing a little PlayStation. TBS Saturday Night College Football, all part of Big PlayStation Saturday. We get set to start the second quarter. Our score is tied up at 7. Along with Darren Elliott, Charles Davis, I'm Ron Thulin. Texas A&M had Kansas State pinned. They couldn't stop them. 1st and 10 as we begin quarter number 2 for Kansas State. Meyer throws out of the flat, wide open, caught at the 48-yard line. Wyoming figures. The sophomore transfer out of Lakeland, Florida. Byron Jones on the coverage. But that last pass to Casey, here you've got them pinned. Exactly what Kansas State needed to get done, what Texas A&M needed not to happen.
Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator, would say we had them in a position where we could dictate to the offense what we wanted to happen. Instead, we let them off the hook with the big pass to Casey, made it 1st and 10, and I like Bill Snyder's call on 1st and 10, letting Dylan Meyer throw a nice pass to give him more confidence and really get him into the game throwing the ball.
Victor Mann, the only one with Meyer in the backfield. Pick up a 5 on that last play. Meyer cuts it, runs. Steps over one tackle, gets inside the 45, down about the 44-yard line. Buell again on the stop. The senior out of Pflugerville, Texas. He's just outside of Austin.
No, it's real nice that you're seeing right now from Dylan Meyer, the quarterback for Kansas State. He had to take the 2 timeouts, remember? Ordinarily, that type of thing flusters a young quarterback because he had to go to the bench, hear the coaches be upset about him taking the timeouts, but instead he comes back, throws a nice pass, and look at his rush numbers. Already he's carried it 6 times for a touchdown. They have confidence in him, and he's able to continue to gain in confidence. Easy passes thus far tonight, and using his legs effectively.
Look at this set. 2 tight ends.
2 fullbacks next to him.
On 3rd down at about a foot. Close to the Home Depot 1st and 10 line.
That's a set I can't honestly say that I've seen.
Yeah.
Because what they did was they brought the 2 fullbacks in right next to the quarterback in the gaps and used them as wedge blockers for the sneak by Dylan Meyer. How about that? How about those numbers for Bill Snyder?
That tells you exactly what kind of job he has done. And what I like about Bill Snyder is every year he has a sense of history with the players he brings in. He says, listen, we didn't get all these wins because we didn't work hard. He shows a tape of past performers. He talks about the history, talks about the great quarterbacks and the great running backs. He makes sure people don't forget where they've come from.
Because Kansas State had not won very many games before Bill Snyder got there. He doesn't want the fans, the boosters, the players to think it's just their birthright to win games. You have to work at it each and every year.
was a first down. Rolls behind Meyer, who goes now into the shotgun. The option, they try to feather it out. The pitch to Sproles. Jukes about 3 or 4 tacklers, gets inside the 40, down to about the 38-yard line. Well, Barry Switzer said Bill Snyder is not the coach of the year or the coach of the decade. He's the coach of the century. That is why. And the 41, that's because this decade's not over yet.
Yeah, it's just getting started, really. 88 wins from 90 to 2000. But think about all this. The reason that Barry Switzer said that is that Bill Snyder took over a program that had been to 1 bowl game in its history. And the previous coaches to Bill Snyder had won 115 games. He's won 129. That tells you what a job that he's done at Kansas State.
Pickup was 5 by Meyer. 2nd down and 5. Looks out on the flat, throws, passes incomplete off the hands of Antoine Polite. Polite, the senior out of Indianola, Iowa.
Watch up here, because the block right there, that wasn't going to be enough of a block to get it done by Davin Dennis, number 15. The corner had set the corner real strong, and he was actually moving the receiver back into the play. So if the ball's caught, the corner would have folded off of the block and come over and made the tackle. Need a much better block if you're going to try and throw that kind of a pass.
Meyer's first incomplete pass of the night. 3rd down and 5. That is the 3rd timeout called by Kansas State in this half. 2 in the first quarter, 1 here in the second. The 12th man, it's rearing its head here at Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. We are tied.
If you want to add a little flair to your floors, you can. From carpet to hardwood to laminate, nobody covers more floors than the Home Depot. Only the Home Depot has the new DuPont Real Touch Elite. It's so authentic you have to feel it to believe it. Install it yourself or get expert installation through the Home Depot. Right now, get 12 months, no payments, no interest on any flooring, kitchen, bath, or appliance purchase of $299 or more with your Home Depot consumer credit card. Only at the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
The Kia Amante Premium Sedan. More luxury, more pride. Welcome to more. The Kia Amante. The Kia Amante Premium Sedan with 8 airbags. More security. More peace of mind. Welcome to more. The Kia Amante.
Where does reality end and pure vision begin? It all starts with a Pioneer plasma display. The purest color, the purest experience. Pure vision. Only from Pioneer.
Tied at 7 at Kyle Field, and our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Home Depot. 3rd down and 5 for Kansas State. They're out of timeouts. 12:53 to play in the half.
And the crowd right back into it. Watch Keelan Jackson down here.
A&M showing 8 on the line. They're jumping around. Penalty flag is thrown. Because they're out of timeouts, Kansas State takes a lot of times getting in plays. They call it the check with me plays a lot of times. They look at the defense, look over to Coach Snyder. Do they have to pick up the tempo?
False start. Offense.
What Coach Snyder does is he sends in really essentially 2 play calls. So the check with me is get on the line of scrimmage. Here are the 2 plays. Check with me. I'll call the one that's best. So Dylan Meyer has to look over the defense and make the call. Because they're out of timeouts and because he has to check, the faster the plays come in and the more time he has to look over the defense, the better for the young sophomore.
3rd and 10. Polite figures. And Dennis. Here comes A&M again. We have penalty flags again. Looked like John Doty again jumped offside, the big senior at left tackle.
And the 12th man knows that it's having an impact. So it's going to continue to increase volume, increase intensity, as long as it continues to work.
False start. Offense. Number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Right there, John Doty, the tackle, number 79. See how they're holding hands? Did you see that?
Yeah.
All of them holding hands because they're trying to go on a silent count. All right? And they're holding hands. When a hand released, that means that the ball has been snapped. In that case, they got a little anxious and jumped out early because you're not hearing an actual count from the quarterback. It's silent. They go on a count. He triggers it by putting his foot up and down, and off they go.
Fourth penalty against Kansas State. 3rd and 15. Myers seeing some pressure. Looking for a block. Gets it. Throws. That'll be into the cheap seats. That ball did not have a big spiral on it. Well, hats off to the Texas A&M defense, but hats off to about 70,000 of their finest fans.
Very happy people because they know they're into the ball game. And I realized the drive was over, but you think about this, Dylan Meyer actually did a good job on that play, just throwing the ball away and not forcing it downfield.
Now let's see if Texas A&M comes after the punter. Tim Rayer, the youngster from a high school of 175, and he gets a pretty good kick. And it'll go into the end zone.
Number 17, Tim Rayer plunging into the end zone.
This week's installment of Home Depot Building a Team features the number of players from Texas on Big 12 rosters. Now, it's a big state. There's a lot of football being played here, or as they say down here, football. And you can see Kansas has 27 from Texas, but how about A&M? 129 players, followed by Baylor, Texas, and Texas.
About as you would expect, Oklahoma has a pretty good number, 54, and they're guys that they reach into Texas for impact players, and they tend to get them. Kansas State only has 6. They end up going the junior college route a lot to try and fill in their numbers, and that's worked very well for Bill Snyder over the years.
Texas A&M will tie up at 7, takes over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. McNeil from the shotgun, and they're going to run it. Lewis breaks a tackle over the 30 up to the 33-yard line. Brett Jones on the stop. You know, we've talked to the Oklahoma coaches about this, and a lot of the coaches. It's a misconception you can't run out of the shotgun.
It is a misconception, but you have to teach the toughness up front with the blocking, and A&M has done that. Their guys like to run the football. And how about the suddenness of Courtney Lewis, number 25 in the hole. Appeared to be tackled, appeared to be in the spot to be tackled, moved out of it, and made a great run. This is the guy, over 1,000 yards as a freshman. Now he's back as a sophomore.
McNeil now scrambling. This is when he's dangerous. Up to the 40-yard line, spins to the 42-yard line. Pick up of about 8 on the play. Brandon Archer, the sophomore out of St. Paul, Minnesota, coming up to make the stop. Had his first career start against Fresno State and had a great one with 11 tackles. This young man's going to be an excellent linebacker for this Kansas State program.
They really like him. He's bounced around a little bit, different positions. They're settling him in at the strong linebacker position. Has more tackles already this year than he had all of 2003.
And McNeil had 129 yards rushing against Clemson. He is dangerous. Here comes the reverse. They pitch it back. Thomas looks, open space, 40, down to the 30-yard line.
Take a look at Reggie McNeil, number 1. Watch on this play. Watch the block that he sets at the corner. It's not a great one right there, but he did his job. He got in front of Kevin Huntley, number 52. That allowed the ball carrier, Terrence Thomas, 29 yards on the game, but he was able to read the block, cut inside, and get into the hole for a nice effort.
You know, coaches know that if you give Dennis Franchione a week off, he does pull tricks out of his bag on the next game. McNeil looks, throws, going for pay dirt, overthrown, penalty flag is thrown. Pass was intended for Daquan Mobley. Lewis Lavender got a little piece of him.
And this was set up because Daquan Mobley able to run inside. Lavender, Mobley I got to tell you, I'm a former defensive back. I say this all the time. I'm not so sure, guys, because they seem to be leaning on each other.
Yeah.
Pass interference.
We've seen worse.
I've seen a lot worse.
Number 2.
Okay. I'm just going to say.
Penalty from previous spot, automatic first down.
And really, Daquan Mobley quit running on the pattern. Did you notice that? He was just kind of leaning in and kind of, he ended up getting the call. Look at the Wildcats, normally one of the least penalized teams out there. Tonight, penalty numbers are up for them.
Well, they averaged 5 penalties a game, Kansas State, and that was their 5th, and we still have 10:57 in the first half.
Play able to be set up by Reggie McNeil's running ability. They showed him with an option move coming out from under center, and then he went back to pass. They have to respect his running ability. That helps draw a secondary up, gives them one-on-one coverage deep.
Well, now the officials are going to talk about this. They're meeting at about the 15-yard line. Reggie McNeil, the junior out of Lufkin, Texas, has come into his own, and it started in January when he told Coach Franchione, I want to be the leader of this team. Put stuff on me.
And he's taken that challenge that he's given himself. Coach Fran has allowed him to do that and has watched him grow. As we've seen the numbers grow, he's number 6 in the country in total offense per game at 314 yards per game.
All the officials got it all straightened out. Still no turnovers for A&M this year. Straight up the hole! Touchdown A&M! Courtney Lewis.
The ground level look, number 64, Kirk Elder folded around to open up a big hole for Courtney Lewis. He gallops through it, and A&M goes on top.
80 yards, 4 plays. Kansas State has more than doubled up time of possession, but now A&M's trying to double up the score. The extra point by Todd Pegram is good. Perfect 11 for 11 on the year. Courtney Lewis, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, but we also saw Brett Jones throwing out that arm, trying to arm tackle. That's been a problem for the Wildcats this year. 10:52 to play in the second. Texas A&M has taken the advantage.
They say the clothes make the man. This October, discover what happens when the clothes make the man a woman. In the spirit of Tootsie and Mrs. Doubtfire comes a very funny new reality series where real guys compete to see who's the most ladylike. They'll work, do their hair, and experience life as real gals. If they're man enough to handle it. He's a Lady, a new reality series coming October 19th on TBS.
Hey, Angie, you going to the post office? Hey, Ted, you going to the post office?
Do I know you?
Anyone go to the post office? Jeff.
Ronnie?
Connie. Isn't anyone going to the post office?
Hey, Chuck. Can't go to the post office? Go to USPS.com. Print the shipping label.
What about postage?
You can pay for postage, too, then hand the package to B.
The U.S. Postal Service is working for you.
Hey, Steve. Lunch?
Get some runs now. Get him, slugger.
Hey, I know that guy. That's Miles.
He can't bat for you. He works for Office Depot.
Whoa. He absolutely works for us. Office Depot set up our entire office. Computers, desks, chairs, right down to the chair mats. Technically, yeah, he works for Office Depot. But they're a huge part of our company. Do a lot more than Hanson.
And he's got a bat for us, too.
No way, why?
Where do you think we got our computers?
Office Depot. Everything your business needs to win at everyday low prices.
College football on TBS, brought to you by Allstate. Are you in good hands? And Levi's Jeans, a style for every story. Levi's in Texas, they go hand in hand. Just on Highway 6, just outside of College Station, and just a couple of miles from that, Kyle Field. Crowd of better than 70,000 on hand. Big 12 opener for Kansas State and Texas A&M. A&M with a 3-game win streak over Kansas State. They've taken the lead 14-7, 10:52 in the second. Lane Newman now kicking against the wind, but when we were down on the field, it felt like it was swirling right about there. Sproles back on his 4-yard line.
Remember, he fumbled the last kickoff. Now they're going to try and sky kick it.
At the 20-yard line. Saba gets up to about the 32, get good field position, but they kept it away from Sproles, and the A&M defense comes back out onto the field. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson for a little update on Cal, Oregon State. EJ.
Yeah, Ron, Cal all over Oregon State today, 49-7, scored 42 straight points at one stretch. Now, Coach, these guys beat USC, the only ones to do it, and they meet next week. Can Cal do it again to USC?
Well, it's going to be a high-scoring game, Ernie, and that game's sold out already, and that's a big game in Southern California.
Indeed it is. Ron?
All right, we saw USC last week against Stanford, that exciting second-half comeback. Great defense by Pete Carroll and company. Coach Tedford's got Cal ready.
Now, in the beginning of the game, guys, Darren Sproles, first 7 carries, 35 yards. As we look at the average drive, Kansas State bad field position. His last 5 carries have only netted him 15 yards, though. It's Darren Sproles dotting the I.
And they'll try it on the ground. Sproles bounces to the outside, gets up to the 29-yard line. Pick up about 7 on the play. Japhus Brown coming up for the stop. Just a reminder, this is the first of 2 games tonight here on TBS. Coming up immediately following our contest, we'll send you out to Eugene, Oregon, where Arizona State, number 22 in the country, is set to take on Oregon. A couple of great quarterbacks in that ball game, Andrew Walter and Kellen Clemens.
And if you haven't seen Andrew Walter, stay tuned. I think he's one of the top quarterbacks in the country.
On 2nd and 3, Sproles popped from behind, spun around. Right at the line of scrimmage, Red Bryant, the redshirt freshman out of Jasper, Texas. This young man is young, but he is going to be huge for A&M.
Looks like Bill Snyder sending back in his fullback, Victor Mann, 42, and Metzger tight end, and Rashad Norwood, number 89. So what that tells me is that number 43, Darren Sproles, still going to be a factor on this play.
Third, we'll call it 4. Meyer will run the option. They feather him out. Short of the first down. Hit as he crosses the 30. Brown coming up from that strong safety spot for his 2nd tackle of the night. Once again, they wanted to feather out that option. They've done it again.
Watch at the top. You're going to see the corner here, and you're going to see the rest of the guys come. He's going to force right here because he's going to take away the pitch. That means that Dylan Meyer has to tuck it inside, and then the tackle occurs right there. Watch on the play. They're going to force at the corner, and when he runs right to Darren Sproles to take away the pitch, that allows the other guys to fill in and make the play and make it 4th down.
They're rushing Ray or the punter. Here they come, and he gets it off. Mays, the only one back. Penalty flag is thrown. This will be for naught as Mays goes down at about the 24-yard line. They came after Tim Rayer, the freshman walk-on, who said, all I want to do is make sure I get the ball on my foot. Not, I don't want to kick it 50. Let's just get it on my foot. He did just that, and he did draw the flag.
I don't think it'll be a 15-yard penalty,
no.
Bill. I think it'll be the 5-yard running into him.
On the receiving team, number 46, 5-yard penalty. Be a first down.
In any event, it's a first down, and that's a tough one. Say Rayer, number 17, and right there, that's a tough one because he did a good job. You know what he did? He left his foot in the air. And number 58, Blake Kendrick, just ran right into it. He was trying to avoid him, but Rayer, I don't know whether he did it on purpose or not, but it's a great job leaving his foot in the air. Kendrick runs into him, and now it's a first down for Kansas State. After a great defensive possession by A&M, they have to go right back out. So if I'm Kansas State, right back there, 43, Darren Sproles. I keep trying to establish him.
Ball on the 35-yard line, and they do try to establish it. Tries the left side, hit right at the line, drops the ball again. Brown's the one who laid the wood to him. Watch this hit, you can probably hear it.
A counter play, which allowed A&M to see the ball and then flow to it. And watch Japhus Brown, the strong safety, number 28. Unblocked there. Excellent form on the tackle. Head across the bow. Forces another fumble by Darren Sproles. He's fortunate he's able to dive back on it.
Well, he lost one. He fumbled around a kick, and he fumbled this one around.
Long yardage situation for Kansas State.
A&M with 8 in the box. Here they come. Meyer throws it out of the flat up to the 39-yard line. Complete to Davin Dennis, the junior out of St. James, Louisiana.
Around at the 40-yard line.
Dennis' his second reception of the night. He is a solid athletic receiver.
That was a good read by Dylan Meyer, the quarterback. You know why? That was a corner blitz coming from the short side, meaning from the hash mark to the sideline. You don't have much room to run for the corner, and then you send someone else out in coverage, usually a safety. Good read by Dylan Meyer hitting Davin Dennis.
This is exactly what A&M wanted. 3rd and 5. 8:02 to play and a half. They come with the blitz again. Here they come looking for a screen. They get it off. Sproles tripped up, but he may have the first down. Keelan Jackson got the hand on him. Good job of patience, though, by Dylan Meyer. He waited and waited and waited, but that was about an inch away from not being a good play.
Back-to-back nice plays by the quarterback. I mentioned the first one, reading the blitz, receiver in the right spot. On this one, patience in the pocket, as you noted, on the screen, getting it to the playmaker, and as you mentioned, if Keelan Jackson, number 33, a former safety, now turned linebacker, does not have his safety speed going, then I think that Darren Sproles is still running. And Dylan Meyer knew he was going to take the hit. He took the big one from Justin Warren, but what a nice job standing in and completing it. When you talk about all-purpose, last week we saw Reggie Bush from USC, one of the best in the country. This week we're seeing another one. Darren Sproles, 250 yards per ball game and all-purpose yards coming in.
Cedric Benson, 180 yards plus. That is a first down. 180 yards plus rushing today. Not sure what else he did. That's pretty good.
Team won. That's what is the bottom line for him.
And of course next week, Texas and Oklahoma.
Red River shootout one more time.
Well, it is a first down for Kansas State once again, aided by the penalty on the punter.
I know Dylan Meyer's had a few rough points here in terms of timeouts and crowd control and managing the game a little bit, but I'm liking his moxie. He's staying in there and really trying to get things done. I like this young man, and we're watching him grow up in front of our eyes.
Changing the play again. 5 to snap. They'll try the option. Myers flips a tackle, gets inside the 50 down to the 48-yard line. Another heads-up play by Dylan Meyer. Knew the pitch wasn't there, able to slip a couple tackles. Brown on the stop, his 5th tackle already in the ballgame. That more than doubles his total tackles on the year.
The idea for A&M's defense is to slow play the quarterback on the pitch or feather it. Make him keep the ball and take away the pitch to Darren Sproles. Byron Jones, number 11, did that. The cornerback he forced early. Meyer kept it and was able to outrun Justin Warren, the inside linebacker, number 10, for a nice 5-yard gain.
Again the noise. 2nd and 4. Sproles stopped up at the line. May have gotten the yard. Jason Jack, the redshirt freshman out of Humboldt, Texas, coming up to make a stop from that defensive end spot. Another one of the high school All-Americans, part of this Texas A&M defense. So much improved from last year. Last year they gave up 225 yards a game on the ground. We're 112th in rushing. Much better this year, 18th against the rush. 3rd down. We'll call it 3.
A&M blitzes, one of the best blitz beaters is running the option, but Dylan Meyer's in the shotgun.
And the offensive line picking up. Here they come from all sides. Buy some time, hit, drop. Byron Jones and Justin Warren coming up to make the stop.
This is a coverage sack. We look at it from Dylan Meyer's perspective. Eric Mays, number 16, took away Antoine Polite, number 2 for Kansas State, who was really the primary and almost only option for Dylan Meyer. When he had nowhere else to go with the ball, he had to eat it, forcing a punt. And there's a new punter on the field for Kansas State. It's Jesse Martinez, who started the season as their number 1 punter and lost his job.
Big 6'4" junior out of Napa, California. Takes a lot of time, a low, wobbly kick. At the 25-yard line, up to the 31-yard line is where A&M will take it. 33 yards on the kick, about 7 on the return. 5:20 to play in the opening half. We've got a good one going on at College Station, Texas. The core is here, and that's not a regulation hat for them.
Silverback. You can see the silver right on the back. Oh, great.
He's making a call. He's making a peak hour call!
Just hope you're not roaming.
Too many restrictions on your wireless plan?
You want some of this, monkey boy?
Come to T-Mobile and talk whenever, nationwide.
Whenever.
T-Mobile gives you the most whenever minutes. 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile, get more.
Sports Illustrated has called Friday Night Lights one of the greatest sports stories ever told.
I'm gonna knock him out, and I'm gonna smile when I do it.
Now it's being called one of the greatest sports movies ever made. It's time.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about! Run!
From the producer of 8 Mile, Friday Night Lights, rated PG-13, at theaters Friday.
Hanging out with my good friend. Days like these should never end.
Yeah, come on, let's get out of here.
When the quality of your beer matches the quality of your friends, it's easy to lose track of time. Sam Adams Light, the taste of good times.
USA Today is the place for a comprehensive look around the conferences. Get all the latest scores, stats, standings, and game recaps to keep you up to date with your favorite teams and players. So pick up your copy of USA Today every day. Well, time of possession belongs to Kansas State, almost 3 times as much, but Coach Franchione talked to his offense about not getting frustrated. Don't worry, be patient out there. McNeil throwing, has a man, caught at the 25-yard line. Terrence Murphy.
Watch this. This is just a streak route downfield. See them hand fighting? Cedric Williams, number 4, and White is the best cover corner for Kansas State. But Terrence Murphy located the football before Williams did and was able to fade a little bit away from him, clear some distance, and make the catch. Nicely thrown ball by Reggie McNeil off of the bootleg. Great play on first down. Nice call, Coach Fran, for the Texas A&M Aggies.
That's a young man that could have gone to the NFL last year, said, I'm not ending my career at A&M with that kind of record. An exceptional individual as the penalty flag is thrown. Didn't play the Clemson game because of a hamstring injury. He's had a couple of weeks to get it ready. Boy, with that young man, McNeil and Lewis, that's potent offense there.
Yeah, they started the season with all 3 in the lineup, but they weren't healthy.
Right.
Lewis was hurt with a bad ankle at Utah. Then he didn't play against Wyoming.
We had a timeout before the false start. Coach called a timeout. Disregard the flag.
So their clock was running down. Reggie McNeil trying to get the timeout, was able to get it. Fortunate to get the timeout call.
Coach Fran, it's a good thing. Don't worry about it.
Without a doubt. But Darren Elliott told us at the top that Texas A&M had a 3-headed monster. Terrence Murphy, the wide receiver, welcome back from a hamstring injury, a touchdown catch, and we just saw another big catch. Reggie McNeil has been doing it all tonight, running and throwing at quarterback. And Courtney Lewis, he scored a touchdown earlier tonight, too, with some nifty moves inside. To finish what we were saying before, just to open up at Utah, they were in the lineup.
That's right.
But Courtney Lewis had a bad ankle. They weren't sure how effective he would be. Game 2, Courtney Lewis sat out with a bad ankle, and Terrence Murphy hurt his hamstring in the first 4 or 5 plays of the game. This is the first time all 3 have been healthy going into a ball game, and tonight all 3 have had an impact on the offensive side.
Hey, you throw in Reggie McNeil having a cast on his non-throwing hand on that thumb. The cast has gotten smaller. And they're finally getting healthy, and you can see the numbers so far tonight.
And look at Reggie McNeil, known more as a runner, 104 pass yards tonight with a touchdown pass. Courtney Lewis not getting as many touches as he did against Clemson, but that's because the wealth has been spread. And Terrence Murphy, 2 catches, but both big plays.
Well, it's 1st and 10 inside of 5 minutes for A&M. They keep it on the ground with Lewis. Breaks a couple of tackles down to the 18-yard line, loses the football, but he was down. That brought on the stop. And how much do you have to say about the fact, like a guy like Reggie McNeil, for instance, see with Courtney Lewis, this is Reggie McNeil's 3rd offensive coordinator in his career. Coach Fran said the one thing they want to do is stabilize this young man and let him know, hey, we're going to just give you what you can take.
And that is a great point, because when you look at the coach's booth there at Texas A&M, three offensive coordinators. That's Les Koenig. He's the guy closest to us right there on the screen. He's the offensive coordinator, trying to get Reggie McNeil stabilized with the same guys each time.
They flare it out to Carter. Breaks a couple of tackles inside the 10-yard line. Scampers out of bounds at about the 8. Maurice Thurman runs him out. Not sure if that was considered a rush or a pass. We might be able to see it.
See, right there, I would think that would be a run that looks like a lateral pass, but really, that's all for statistics. Bottom line is that play worked very well. Kind of what they would call a bubble screen to the wide receivers. I think the official notation will go down as a pass. 2 wide receivers out wide blocking. Carter looping out. Nice touch pass by Reggie McNeil, able to use the blocks and get to the sidelines effectively.
This is where Kansas State is not good in the red zone. Opponents are 10 of 12 in the red zone. They've given up 10 touchdowns. First and goal from the 7. McNeil keeps, looks, down to the 1-yard line. Tried to back it in. That's how far he has to go. Williams on the stop.
The strategy for Texas A&M against Dylan Meyer and Darren Sproles on the option is to slow play him. Slow play the quarterback and feather him. But in this case, Kansas State, they never showed anyone at all when Reggie McNeil kept the ball on the option. That allowed him to get 6.5 yards and make it 2nd and goal. Look at the stack back there. 3 in the backfield on the eye for Texas A&M before they send Murphy in motion.
Touchdown, Courtney Lewis. Take advantage of the opportunities that come your way. A&M's done just that tonight.
And they've done it with adding to the playbook in the open week. They had a nice varied playbook to begin with, and now they had an extra 2 weeks to put in some more. We've seen some wrinkles tonight, different formations, different motion, a few different plays, and most of it has been effective this evening.
Negro's been perfect on the year. Trying to be 3 for 3 tonight, and he is. How about the last 2 touchdown drives have been short?
Look at the blocking up front. The hole was so immense. Courtney Lewis just had to waltz in. He got tackled just for his efforts, but he was well into the end zone before anyone showed from Kansas State.
All 3 touchdown drives, 3 plays, 4 plays, and 5 plays.
In the starting field position, the key to it all, right?
Absolutely.
We showed the graphic earlier, 20-yard line for Kansas State. And then for Texas A&M, much, much better field position, somewhere around the 40-yard line.
And now Kansas State finds themselves in a big hole, 21-7. A&M is just getting more and more confident after that first long drive by Kansas State. Franchione's defense and Les Koenig's offense seem to just kick it in high gear, and they have done that since then.
And the defense, after the first drive, their second drive, remember I said that was a big one for them? What happened? Jackson Appel on a stunt from the free safety position, forced the ball free from Sproles. Texas A&M picked it up, scored the touchdown, and that sent them on their way, and the defense is just getting stronger and stronger. Comes another pooch kick.
Lane Newman does pooch it up in the air. This may make it to the 25. It doesn't, to the 27-yard line. Io Saba backed up, maybe got up to the 34-yard line. It's time for the Fan Rant, brought to you by Kia Motors, which reminds you to make every mile count.
Corpus Christi is my name, sir. Cloud. Call me Mr. McLeod, sir. Corpus Christi take chemistry, sir.
Sure, let's take put sides.
How the vigil is my name, sir.
Right.
God, the vigil, Mr. Bryan, sir. I'm a mutant Texas, taking my good bond, sir.
Let me, Mr. Bryan, sir. Every beautiful city, Texas, taking downside, sir. Let me, Mr. Bryan, sir.
And of course, that's the way Ernie Johnson makes us talk to him.
Right, Ernie Johnson, sir.
Yes.
Reporting for duty, sir.
He's probably making Coach McAdoo do that, huh?
Look at him, they've gone spread, Ron.
5 wide receivers. Meyer With time, rifles the pass, complete up to the 43-yard line. Davin Dennis. His third reception of the night.
First series of the game, they looked like a machine going downfield on the A&M defense, but since then, the fumble by Sproles led to 7 points for Texas A&M. Punt, haven't been able to get a whole lot done.
And they've been able to contain Darren Sproles thus far. 35 yards on the first drive, 22 since then.
And that's Darren Sproles right here in the slot.
Meyer out in the flat, pass is complete, slipping a tackle is Polite. Gets inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line, stops the clock with 2:34 to play in the half.
Darren Elliott told us at the beginning of the game about the takeaway turnover period that Texas A&M does. Eric Mays there went for the strip on the football without securing the tackle. That's one thing they have to be conscious of. You can get takeaways, but you got to make sure you get the tackle first also.
Three wide receivers to the left, one to the right for Kansas State. A&M brings 5, they swing it out, drop. Figures had it in his hands, just couldn't hold on to it. And he's one of the guys that the Kansas State coaching staff telling us they need big plays from him. They haven't gotten them tonight.
He has tremendous speed, somewhere around 4.3 in the 40, and they want to get him the football a bit more. But we've seen them run that swing pass with the receivers out wide a couple of times blocking for him. Hasn't been that effective thus far. It's one of the plays I have to be careful of because A&M's defensive backs are really putting snug coverage on the wide receivers from Kansas State. They're not being pushed off the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10. A&M only rushes 3. Linebackers drop back into coverage. Passes tipped. Incomplete. Jackson Appel thought he had the interception intended for Dennis.
Davin Dennis running an inside route, little curl goes off of him. Appel almost able to pull it down. A little bit healthier this year is number 19 Jackson Appel. 135 tackles last year as a free safety. Playing with a dislocated elbow. Broken hand.
He's a tough bird.
He's a tough one.
Kansas State 5 of 9 on 3rd down. They face 3rd down and 10.
Watch the draw.
A little slip screen. Sproles has it short of the 1st down. Mike Montgomery coming up from that defensive end spot to make the tackle. Now do you go for it?
You know, in this position with the time running down, about 2 minutes and 8 seconds, I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Snyder does go for it here because of where they are on the field. Plus, he's sensing that right now A&M's offense is hot, and he almost has to match them score for score and steal a possession somewhere along the way. That's why he'll go for it here.
And they don't have any timeouts. Plenty of time to snap it. They've got 10. 4th down and 4.
Watch the blitz this time from A&M.
Here they come, right up the middle. Myers gets away from the pass, and it's caught. 1st down to Figures. There's the big play they needed. And Meyer took a hit after he let the ball go.
And the last 2 plays I called a draw that I was incorrect about. It was a screen, but the reason I called that, I thought they wanted to get the ball in Sproles' hands. They did, just in a different way. And on this one, I felt that A&M would come after him because they did not want to be sitting back in coverage without putting pressure on the quarterback and give him a free throw. That was an excellent throw by Dylan Meyer. He earned that 1st down with that play.
Yeah. Melvin Bullitt left his calling card on Meyer's helmet. 1st and 10, 1:35 to play in the half. Plenty of time. Here comes the rush. Meyer hit again as he throws. Incomplete. And Dylan Meyer maybe just a tad shook up. Dennis is also shook up in the end zone. Dylan Meyer has taken 2 whacks, and now Dennis is holding that left shoulder.
We've talked about Dylan Meyer's toughness already in this game. He's going to really exhibit it here. Steps up, makes the throw, and gets whacked. Mike Montgomery, number 95. And then at the end, Davin Dennis pushed from behind by Eric Mays into Byron Jones, number 11. And he goes down for a little while, and he's being attended to at this moment. They are, you mentioned the shoulder. They are looking at it.
Well, we'll keep you updated on that, but while we have a moment, let's go back to our studios in Atlanta with Ernie Johnson and John Makovic. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much, Ron. Coming up momentarily on the Chili's halftime report, we have got highlights, including the Georgia Bulldogs all over the LSU Tigers today, and David Green. This is a long time coming, and he really delivered today.
Redemption Saturday for David Green, a big day for him.
10 completions, 5 of them for scores. Also the Miami Georgia Tech highlights, Oklahoma and Texas Tech, and you never know what else. All on the Chili's halftime report. Back to you, Ron.
All right, Ernie, thanks. Looking forward to that. We've got 2nd down and 10, 1:28 to play in the half for Kansas State with the football. Ball on about the 32-yard line. Tony Madison checked into the lineup for Kansas State. Meyer again, hit again as he throws. Incomplete, intended for Madison. He has taken a couple of pops these last 3 plays.
And that
Montgomery, I think, is the guy that lowered the boom on him this time, Charles.
Yeah, and the last 2 have been defensive linemen hitting him. It's not necessarily a ton of pressure. They just rushed 4 on that play and still able to get back to the quarterback because they're dropping everyone else in the coverage due to Kansas State spreading the field with 5 receivers.
3rd down and 10. Where you can see the sack comparison for A&M drafted this year and for Kansas State, but on the other side. Here comes the blitz again. Meyer throws over the middle. Caught. Figures inside the 20-yard line. That'll be good enough for a 1st down. His 3rd reception of the night. 2 huge ones, though, coming up for Yaman Figures.
We look into the eyes of Dylan Meyer. What he's seeing in the secondary, see number 10 in your picture right there? That's Justin Warren, the middle linebacker. He was hunting up the receiver, Brian Casey. He vacated the middle. Nice call by Bill Snyder because Figures came in underneath after the middle had been vacated for a completion. 12-yard gain for Kansas State.
And another 1st and 10 with 62 seconds. No timeouts for Kansas State. Meyer throws onto the flat. Pass is caught. Figures. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Caught by Figures. Touchdown.
He needed to make the big plays. He came up with 3 huge receptions and the touchdown.
Watch on this play. It's an out route. Number 11, Byron Jones, makes the mistake of coming underneath after the football. Coaches will tell you every time, if you're going to come underneath, you better knock it away or come up with the football, because if you don't, that's the end result. Yaman Figures with the catch, getting to the sideline, touchdown.
Joe Ream for the extra point. And we have some penalty flags.
That last drive for K-State, well called, well executed against a lot of pressure from Texas A&M's defense.
I mean, Yaman Figures has stepped up to the plate, but I think you have to give a lot of the credit to Dylan Meyer. He's out of timeouts. He's getting blitzed just about every play.
Offside on the defense. They refused the penalty itself, so we'll re-kick.
He's getting hit on every play, but he still had the patience to make sure he makes the throws, and he's done a great job on that drive.
And how about a very unbalanced drive, because it was 10 passes, 10 plays, all passes, 65 yards for the touchdown. Unusual for Kansas State.
Ring for the extra point. Stays perfect on the year, 12-12 on the season. But Dylan Meyer with the touchdown pass. He scored running the football. He's thrown his 4th or his 3rd touchdown pass of the year. And they pulled within 7 with 54 seconds left at College Station in the half.
The Rose Bowl. New Year's Day, 100,000 fans will pack this place.
Makes the point about getting off the field on 3rd down. I believe Kansas State is 6 of 11 on 3rd down and being able to convert.
Well, we have whistles and everything going on. I think he was down. Put the knee down. Keith Joseph as he came up with that squib kick. 48 seconds, plenty of time for this A&M offense.
I think a lot of what they will do on offense here, they do have 2 timeouts in their pocket. Remember, any 1st down stops the clock so they can reset the chains. But I think a lot of what they will do will be dictated by this 1st down play. If they get an excellent gain on first down, puts them in much better field position, they may decide to march down and try and get something done. They get stuffed on first down. Coach Fran may say, you know, we're up 7, going to the half, playing fairly well. Might tuck it in and go as we look at Reggie McNeil's numbers in the first half.
Sort of like Stanford did last week?
Sort of like they did, except that worked out way better than what Buddy Tebens thought would happen.
Absolutely. Well, they are keeping it on the ground at first down. Picking up a couple on the play. Kevin Huntley putting a stop on Courtney Lewis.
See, what Coach Fran's thinking right here is you don't spoil 30 minutes of work with one possession here and give them a cheap one going into the half. Despite the fact Kansas State seems to be gaining a little momentum with the score there, Texas A&M has been pretty pleased with how their defense has played overall in the first half and very pleased with how their offense has played.
Well, you look at the fact that they've only had the ball 8 minutes and Kansas State's had it 21 minutes and you're up.
It's capitalizing on your limited opportunities, exactly what Les Koenig and the offensive staff told us before the ball game.
Well, for Kansas State, though, it's been fumbles and penalties that have been the key, but they did have the drive there in the final minute here of the half. Dylan Meyer hooking it up with Yamon Figures, and Bill Snyder will head to the locker room only down 7. 21-14, our halftime score. Coach Franchione, whose squad has only given up 6 points in the last 2 games, gives up 14 tonight in the first half. Darren Elliott with Coach Fran.
Thanks, guys. Coach Fran, pretty good first half of football. The turnover got you guys turned around.
Well, it certainly helped. We were on the downside of time of possession, which is a great formula for them for victory, especially on the road, which was concerning, and that got us going a little bit.
Well, the other thing is their offense is good in terms of capitalizing on their opportunities, but that last drive, too much time on the field for your defense that you have to address in the second half?
Well, a little bit, yes, and then we gave up the play over here on the sideline that you'd like to got in at least with a field goal instead of a touchdown, but hey, we're playing a pretty good football team. They're going to battle, and we know this is going to be a battle.
Great 12th man. Thanks. Best of luck. Guys.
All right, thanks, Darren. 21-14, our halftime score. Texas A&M and Kansas State in the Big 12 opener for both. That concludes it.
And
maximize their opportunities, and again, the other number that stands out for me is the 0 under turnovers for Texas A&M. They've now gone 3.5 games without a turnover, which is an amazing statistic for a team coming off of a 4-8 season and turned it over a bunch last year.
Now, when you look at those rushing yards, 79, you talked at the top of the show, Charles, that they wanted to hold Sproles under 3 yards a carry. He is about 3.5 yards. And you also talked about how Dylan Meyer has to hit his wide receivers. He's done that, which has kept him in the game.
Yeah, he's had 11 completions in the first half, 8 of them to wide receivers. Their last game against Louisiana Lafayette, he only had 2 completions to wide receiver position, both of those by Davin Dennis. So they wanted to make sure they diversified, spread the field a little bit more. And the last drive of Kansas State before the half, 10 plays, 65 yards, culminated in a touchdown. And guess what?
Yeah.
All 10 plays were pass plays. Dylan Meyer did a great job. See the scat there, passes to wide receivers.
And he has taken a couple of shots. A&M will begin the game, third quarter, I'd say, with the football. Jason Carter fumbles it around at the 5. He has some running room. Over the 30, up to the 33-yard line, and that's where Texas A&M will begin, 1st and 10. When you look at the numbers, you say, well, Reggie McNeil didn't do that well in the first half. He only rushed for 14 yards on 3 carries. But you have to remember, they only had the ball 8 minutes plus, and you can see what he's done in this football game.
Well, that goes back to what the coaching staff from A&M told us. They expected Kansas State to control the football a little bit more with Darren Sproles, so that when they had the opportunity, they needed to maximize on what they had, and that's exactly what they did.
And he hasn't tried to force anything either tonight so far.
We keep talking about his maturity, you know, him increasing his awareness as a quarterback, and we're seeing more evidence of it again this evening.
McNeil runs the option, dangerous pitch to Courtney Lewis, loses the football. Does Kansas State have it? Yes.
25, Courtney Lewis.
First turnover of the year for Texas A&M.
No sooner than we said it, it happened. And now we'll have to see how A&M handles that. The first time they've coughed up the ball or turned it over all year. Nice pitch. There's a good block, but coming down the line of scrimmage, number 91, Jermaine Berry with the big hit. Kansas State with the recovery.
You hit it on the head. How will Texas A&M react to this?
First time their defense has been in what they call sudden change. After a turnover, you have to go right on the field and try and shut down the offense. Let's see what Carl Torbush's troops do.
They're getting a little help from the crowd. Meyer keeps it again, has some running room, takes a shot upended at the 30-yard line. Jackson Appel coming up to make the stop, the junior out of Friendswood, Texas, who had 135 tackles last year. The good news is his tackles are down this year.
All right, keep an eye right here on the fullback, Victor Mann. He's going to get fake to him here, and then he's going to come out and lead. Watch the block he throws downfield for Dylan Meyer. Taking out, looks like number 18, Melvin Bullitt, one of the safeties. Wow, that big fella.
That's
Road grader
is
an apt term.
That's a denture check block. Second down and 2. Pickett with 8 on Meyer's run. Sproles, right side, falls forward, may have gotten the first down. Looks like might be a touch short by the Home Depot 1st and 10 line. Jason Jack skipping him up. Now here's Darren Sproles tonight. His first drive, 35 yards, 7 carries.
And right here, that play there, I called it in the first half. I said that was Jackson Appel forcing the fumble. That was actually Melvin Bullitt, number 18, on a great play against the All-American running back Darren Sproles. Yards have become increasingly tougher to get as the game has gone on.
3rd down and 1. Meyer just keeps it. Pushing and pushing, following behind Big Mike Johnson, the senior out of Boulder, Colorado. That left side of the line is so good for Kansas State. They mark it right on the Home Depot line. Doesn't get any better than that. The red line's the line of the yellow line's the Home Depot line. Juszczyk says we're going to measure it.
This half could not have started any better for Kansas State on defense and now turning the ball over to their offense. And here's Darren Sproles, his last 6 games running the football. The 235, that's against Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game after he had run for 273 against Missouri in the last regular season game. The Ohio State game, that was the Fiesta Bowl, down to 38. The season opener against Western Kentucky, 221, but he had about 40 carries to do it. Fresno State down again. They held him down because they got up big. And then against Louisiana Lafayette, 292 last week. But the 2 fumbles we talked about that he worked on tonight, 58 yards against the Texas A&M defense. They're going to want to continue to give him the football and keep giving him opportunities to pop one.
So every other time he has a big game, he comes back and doesn't have such a big game. Now he's on the sideline. It was a first down. Victor Mann now in the backfield. Figures in motion. Keep it on the ground. Good Figures. First down, trips up. Just when we talked about Demond Figures making big plays, I mean, right after that, he has come alive.
Big missed tackle by number 18 right here on the play. That's Melvin Bullitt. Overruns the play, Figures with a nice move inside, gets to the sideline. That's why they want to get the ball in his hands. He has speed, but he showed some elusiveness on that play also.
Well, his nickname is O, and so far, since he caught fire, it should be Oh My. 12:48 to play. Again, with opening drive for Kansas State, impressive. Meyer keeps it, puts inside the 15 down to the 10-yard line. This is the first chance we've had a chance to see Dylan Meyer outside of a bunch of tape. I'm impressed. We were surprised how thick he was when we were down on the field. He's got some girth to him.
Yeah, he's pretty well built. And what I like about him, I used the word moxie in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
He's a kid who's gone through some struggles tonight, trying to get the play selection in, had to take a lot of timeouts, but it hasn't flustered him. And he doesn't mind calling upon himself to run the football to give Kansas State an opportunity.
13 rushes, 38 yards. Picked up 7 on that play.
Got to think 43 touches it here, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Sproles looking for a block from Mann. Gets it, gets down to the 5-yard line and pushed back to the 6-yard line. Victor Mann was leading the charge. Byron Jones finally made the stop. Darren Elliott down on the floor. What do you have for us?
Well, guys, we talked about Dylan Meyer, and the coaching staff was so confident in him coming into this one. They said he was poised to have a big game. At halftime, Coach Snyder just confidently looked over, gave him a nod as Meyer was warming up. He looks cool, calm, and collected, both on the sideline and now in the action, guys.
And they're in the red zone, and Coach Franchione says real men play defense in the red zone. They need to do it now. 3 wide receivers to the right. Meyer peaks, tripped up, lost maybe a yard on the play. Looks like Keelan Jackson came underneath everyone to make the stop.
And that play was set up by number 43, Renuel Green, because he came in and stoned Victor Mann, the lead blocker, number 42, in the hole. That allowed no space for the Dylan Meyer to wiggle past, allowing Keelan Jackson to come underneath and make the tackle.
2nd and goal. Ball is out about the 8-yard line. Meyer runs the option again. Ducks inside. This time he's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. And again, it is Keelan Jackson. Charles mentioned in the first half the converted strong safety. Just moved to that linebacker spot in the spring, but he has those instincts of a defensive back.
And back-to-back nice plays. Watch right here. Running to the pitch man, which forced Dylan Meyer up here, and that's where the tackle is made. Again, Renuel Green, number 43, forced to take away the pitch to Darren Sproles, allowing Keelan Jackson to make the play. 43-33, back-to-back in tandem. Nice defensive plays.
3rd down and goal from the 8. Here comes the rush. Meyer throws it incomplete. No penalty flag intended for Norwood. Jackson Appel, the free safety on the play. And he gives away almost 6 inches to Rashad Norwood.
That's tenacious coverage, wasn't it? Because it's really a throwback. What they were trying to do was get all of the Texas A&M defense flowing in one direction and throw back the other way. You saw Justin Warren, number 10, changing direction. And this time, Jackson Appel, remember I said if you come underneath, you have to get the ball? It's exactly what he did. And big play by Jackson Appel.
Now Joe Ream, they're going to spot it right at the 15-yard line. It'll be a 25-yarder. High snap, they get it down in time. And Joe Ream remains perfect on the year. 7 for 7, 2 for 2 from the 20 to 29-yard line. So at least they walked away with something in College Station, Texas, home of A&M. That's where we are, and it's gotten just a little bit tighter.
People everywhere are
set to kick it off. Joe Ream's been so consistent. Carter and Murphy back, kicking against the wind. It'll be a short kick. And it'll be Murphy. Over the 30, looks for another block. To the 40, knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Brett Jones coming up to make the stop. It is hot here, it is humid, and a lot of the drives have been long drives, but Texas A&M turns to their strength and performance coach, Ben Pollard, been with Coach Fran since the days at TCU. He has the sand pit. This does not look fun.
Yeah, the off-season conditioning program involved going in the sand pit every Tuesday for agility and conditioning drills. And my favorite quote, see Terrence Murphy after the great return, Johnny Jolly, the defensive tackle, said, you got to have your heart right to go into that sand.
That's probably not it. All you'd have to have.
I know guys laid up all night on Monday dreading going into the sand on Tuesday.
Well, they said they just did not look forward to Tuesdays. Well, we've got some movement on the part of A&M.
Well, you know, part of the reason we show that pit now is the A&M defense is starting to spend more time on the field. And Kansas State trying to wear them down a little bit. We'll see how their conditioning holds out.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Number 81, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, Texas A&M has a player that has been injured. Darren, you have an update on that?
Yeah, when you talk about conditioning, it happens to be Bryce Reed, who's playing behind Johnny Jolly. So let's hope Johnny Jolly is able to go the distance. Those sandpit workouts have done the trick for him, guys.
I certainly hope Bryce is going to be okay. I saw him go off the field early, in the first half and limping off. And now they're going to have to get Johnny. You're right. Johnny Jolly's going to have to stay on the field a little bit longer. The rotation changes now for the defensive line.
He's going to thank Coach Pollard for those drills. Keep him on the ground with throwing it incomplete. Good fake. Run and try to run that little dipsy doodle again, intended for Terrence Murphy. It looked like Reggie McNeil also took quite a hit, and he's slow to get up.
A great job by Scott Edmonds, the defensive end. This is something that they didn't really have in the first half, pursuit. And now look at Jesse Tetwan, who's moved from free safety to strong safety to make room for Brett Jones getting into the lineup. He's done it without still the quarterback of the secondary, one of their striking hitters. Nice break on the football. Sure would have loved to have come up with that one. That would have been a big opportunity deep in A&M territory for Kansas State.
McNeil pump fake, looking, has pressure, throwing deep. Looking for Murphy, passes incomplete. Just over the outstretched arms of Cedric Williams, who was on the coverage, and he was step for step with Terrence Murphy.
Excellent coverage by Cedric Williams. Remember earlier in the game, Terrence Murphy beat him for a long one down the sideline? Once bitten, twice shy. Well, this time Terrence Murphy tried to get on the sideline again. This was an out and up move. But Cedric Williams read it, and he ended up being the receiver on the play.
That's right.
Instead of Terrence Murphy. Terrence Murphy almost looking like the defensive back. Nice coverage by Cedric Williams, number 4 for K-State.
He's up at 3rd down and 15. Jesse Woods on the near side now. Courtney Lewis in motion, far side. They run a little shovel pass. Thomas gets close to the first down, will be about 3 yards short. We saw them work on this play on Thursday, and out of all the plays they were working in their practices last couple of days, some of them were dipsy doodle, but some of them were just good solid football plays like this one. Oklahoma runs that quite well.
The shovel pass is a nice job, nice play against pressure. When you're getting blitzers upfield because you're trying to get it past the blitzer, come past it, you throw it underneath and able to circle, but they were in such long yardage on that play. Kansas State able to make the tackle downfield and force a punt. Kansas State off to a nice start in the second half, both defensively and offensively.
Jacob Young's first kick was 31 yards. Sproles standing on his 10-yard line. Now Kansas State jumping around on the line. Peel back. High spiraling kick. Sproles calls for the fair catch. Lost it again. And Texas A&M has it. Byron Jones with a fumble recovery. His first of the year, but again, Darren Sproles with yet another fumble.
Well, I can hear the criticism right now. You're supposed to, as a punt returner, put your heels on the 10-yard line, and if anything goes over your head, you let it go. But a lot of punt returners, what they do after they signal the fair catch is they retreat anyway and catch the football if they sense the coverage is surrounding him. That's what Darren Sproles felt. Didn't get back deep enough to make the catch. Ball goes back there. That's a big, big turnover for the Kansas State team, and Texas A&M has a chance to take advantage. So see Bill Snyder talking with his star.
Now first and goal, McNeil. Ducks inside. May have gotten down to the 3. And that was a very poignant shot. Bill Snyder going over to Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles is one of the most humble young men that we have ever been around in our many years of football. Talking to him yesterday, he doesn't want to talk about the Heisman. His mom passed away last April. It was a very devastating loss for this young man. He takes it very personally. And when he lets down the team, he takes it quite personally. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Just an exceptional young man. And his dad should be very, very proud of him.
Yeah, his dad, Larry, talks about how great a kid he is, and they talk about how humble he was. His mom Annette that he lost in the spring, but tonight it's been a tough night because there it was. There was the big hit inside, and that was the ball forced free. And then Darren Sproles there on the kickoff, dropped it. They got him there. Japus Brown causing a fumble that Darren Sproles recovered, and here the big one, we just saw it. Byron Jones getting downfield, attaching the football after Darren Sproles drops it. That's one young man who's determined to get back on the field and atone for his errors.
And he talked to you about his relationship with Coach Snyder. As we look at Derek Marceau, looks like he is down there attending to that left leg. But you talked about his relationship, and he said he's like a father to me. Very, very close with Coach Snyder, and he went over there and said, I'm sure, Darren, don't worry about it. We've got a timeout. 8:15, we come back, we'll update you on the injured player, and we'll continue here in the third quarter from A&M.
Are you searching for the great fajita? Chili's sizzling steak and portobello mushroom fajitas. Tender, juicy grilled steak, topped with
College football on TBS, brought to you by Kia. 8 cars, 1 belief. Make every mile count. And Pioneer Pure Vision Plasma Displays. The purest color, the purest experience. Charles Davis, Darren Elliott, Ron Thulin, welcome you back to College Station, Texas, where A&M is knocking on the door, and Bill Snyder's team, well, they've been a victim of their penalties. They've been a victim of fumbles tonight. They have the lead in time possession.
Going fast to the line of scrimmage, Ron. See Reggie McNeil kind of looked like a little fumble-rooski play.
And the officials are not letting it happen. They're blowing it, saying, hold on here.
I think they're going to say someone had their knee down when they touched the football. See how they hustled to the line of scrimmage?
Well, it ended up in the hands of Terrence Thomas. We told you that after the bye week, you talked to coaches around the country. They said, you got to watch out for Coach Fran after the bye week because he will pull things out of his hat.
Well, they told us that they added to their playbook. Here's some of it. Watch, a little fumble-rooski, kind of a little. There's Reggie McNeil, and he's going to lay it down and try and sneak it inside the legs of Terrence Thomas. And see right there, as he starts to go down, I'm not sure he did, but I think that's where the officials blew it down. They thought that he did. I'm not sure they actually went down.
Hell, it's 3rd down and goal now from the 4. McNeil runs it, pitches it. 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Jason Carter. Jason Carter, the former high school quarterback from just down the road in Caldwell, Texas, with the rushing touchdown. All set up by the fumble by Darren Sproles.
You know, to start the half, Kansas State got a turnover from Texas A&M. That's called stealing a possession. Then they gave it right back. A&M steals one back. Kansas State only got 3 on theirs. Texas A&M just got 7. That math doesn't work for the Kansas State Wildcats.
Reggie McNeil running the option to perfection. The long pitch. Carter the touchdown, and the Aggies have upped the lead.
It's going to be a key possession here now for Kansas State because I think Bill Snyder is going to want him to touch the ball early to make sure that he's back into the ball game.
Here's a little pooch kick again. They don't want Darren Sproles even touching the football. Dennis knocked out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. One of the keys on that touchdown, the blocking of the wide receivers.
Yeah, take a look here. This is Terrence Murphy right here. That's going to be one great block. Right here, number 2, that's Courtney Lewis, the tailback, who's moved out wide. Watch what they do on their blocking assignments here to get number 7, Jason Carter, into the end zone. Murphy riding out Brandon Archer, the linebacker, and then downfield. Great job on Cedric Williams, number 4, the defensive back. That's Courtney Lewis. You can't just run it. You can't just catch it. You have to be able to block also to stay on the field for Texas A&M.
Terrence Murphy goes back to the bike to try to keep that hamstring loose. Thomas Clayton and Victor Mann now in the I formation. Sproles is not in there. Casey in motion. They keep it on the ground. Thomas Clayton. The transfer out of Florida State from Alexandria, Virginia. Coaches love him. Rivals.com is your football recruiting source. Who will be the stars of tomorrow? Check out Rivals.com and find out today.
Interesting with Thomas Clayton in the ball game now. He's an excellent tailback. Nickname is Hollywood. But I really thought, after I saw Darren Sproles back to receive the kickoff, that he would stay in on offense. This is a surprise to me.
I remember what Bill Snyder said to him in the Fresno State game, hey, we'll try it another day. I think it's too early.
Too early for that.
Meyer throws it away. He was not outside the tackle, took a hit. Pressure was put on by Marcus Jasmine, the senior out of New Orleans, Louisiana, who 2 years ago had an outstanding year for Texas A&M. Last year, numbers were down. This year, he's practicing with a purpose, according to Coach Fran.
And he's a guy who lost his starting job to a redshirt freshman, Joseph Red Bryant. And he said that, hey, anything to make the team better. And a lot of guys give lip service to that, but Jasmine is really putting it into action. He's playing as hard as he can. And I think the number 43 for Kansas State, I do believe he's back on the field. There he goes.
He's going out of the slot.
And he'll be in the slot position. That's him right there.
Meyer looking left, throwing left, pass complete at the 44-yard line to Polite. It looks like he was just short of the first down by about a half a yard.
You know what's been impressive to me about Kansas State's wide receivers tonight is the way they've caught the ball and absorbed hits. You know, they are a physical bunch, and even though they're a little bit short now on fourth down, that was a nice catch because it's a good tackle by Texas A&M. But the thing that helps Kansas State's wide receivers is they have to block so much that they become tougher guys.
That's right.
But they have 15 knockdowns in the last game against Louisiana Lafayette. Another good possession on defense, though, for A&M. They have to be careful here about a fake.
Eric Mays standing at his 22-yard line, and here it is. Martinez going to fake it, gets the first down, and a couple of yards to spare. Well, we were wondering why they replaced Rayer with Martinez, since Rayer had a better punting average after that first kick, and Bill Snyder obviously trying to set something up here.
And watch where they come. They're going to just come over here and block, and that's where Martinez is going to follow. Now, why is this punter able to do that? He was also recruited as a wide receiver. So he's on the depth chart as a wide receiver and as the punter. And Jesse Martinez picks up a big first down for Kansas State. Help them keep a little momentum going. Nice job by Bill Snyder, the riverboat gambler.
You got it. He looks like it. Sproles now in the backfield. 1st and 10. The drive is alive with 5:36 in the third. Meyer looks. Pass batted down, caught by one of the linemen. Up at the 50-yard line. Looks like Jasmine is the one who got a piece of it, and Michael Weiner is the one who brought it down. The senior from Boca Raton, Florida.
Wow, how about Michael Weiner? He's going to want to go to tight end now. Take a look. Watch here. See, that looks like Jackson Appel, the free safety. He's trying to get guys lined up on defense because I think they're what they call punt safe. And now, as the play starts, he's talking to someone else. He's not in position.
That's right.
Not many other people are. First down by Bill Snyder. Excellent call.
And Michael Weiner's brother Todd plays in the NFL.
Yeah, former player at Kansas State. Yeah. Michael following in his footsteps, hoping to join him with the Atlanta Falcons.
Here comes the blitz. Meyer is sacked. Byron Jones is having a whale of a game. The senior out of Bay City, Texas. 7 tackles tonight as a fumble recovery, now a sack.
Watch Byron Jones, number 11. This is his 4th sack of the season. And you know the old cliche about the heat-seeking missile?
Yeah.
Well, here he is, because he just explodes into the back of Dylan Meyer, number 9. Doesn't cause a fumble. Great job by Meyer protecting the ball. That's the 4th sack of the year for Jones. He came into this weekend tied for 1st in the Big 12 in sacks from the cornerback position.
That's the 2nd sack of the night, and that's what the Kansas State offensive line had allowed in the previous game's total. Another timeout by Dylan Meyer.
Interesting here on defense, because it appeared to me that Carl Torbush was going to rush his front and drop guys into coverage on 3rd and very long for Kansas State. Now here's an adage in football. Let's keep a lookout for it. You ready? After a timeout, the blitz comes.
That's right. And A&M has the hosses to do just that. Reminder, stay with us tonight on TBS, because we've got another game coming your way. We head you out to Oregon. Oregon set to take on Arizona State. Dirk Cutter's done a great job with Arizona State this year, nationally ranked. Got a solid defense, an explosive offense, and Mike Bellotti trying to get the wheels on Oregon. That's going to be a good one. Bob Neal, Tom Ramsey, and Craig Sager out west to make the call tonight.
And we're going to find out about the evolution of Dirk Cutter as a head coach too, because they've had some trouble this week, starting tailbacks out, due to some difficulties, backup guys out with an elbow. They've got to find a way to focus their team, even though they're down some players, and go into a very hostile environment and win. Dirk Cutter, if he's able to do that and get them off to that 5-0 start, boy, they really will be on their way, because then they've got a real shot at the Pac-10 because they get to play USC.
The last time they were in Eugene, 2002, Sun Devils won at 45-42 in a shootout. We're expecting a shootout tonight.
Okay, let's take a look now. I said that after timeouts, that's when the blitz comes. Let's take a look and see what they do. Look at all these guys near the line of scrimmage for Texas A&M.
6 in the box, they bring everybody. Myers' pass is tipped again. It may have been Johnny Jolly or Keelan Jackson. One of the big guys got the big paws up.
Carl Torbush likes to move guys around, what they call stemming and disguising. See the linebackers? Now they're jumping. Here comes Warren up the middle. Look at that big paw right there hitting it. That looks like Keelan Jackson, number 33, the pumped-up strong safety, turned outside linebacker. Didn't Carl Torbush tell us in our meeting he's a guy who's helped make a difference?
Look at Rayers back to kick now. Martinez is not kicking. Pretty decent kick, hits at the 24-yard line. Whoa. That is not real smart. Eric Mays picking it up. That would have been brutal. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson. How about little Auburn in Tennessee, Jay?
Well, Ron, Charles is going to say I'm piling on, I'm beating up his old team again, but it's not me. It's Auburn doing the beating up. It's 31-3 at the half. That's Jason Campbell to Courtney Taylor, and this is happening at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Back to you. How about it, Charles?
He was subdued.
EJ. I know the Dogs won big today. And he sounded very respectful with that.
He did.
But now that he's gone off air, he's punching Coach Mack in the ribs.
Give him a high five.
You see that score?
They're down at the varsity getting a hot dog right now.
It wasn't in the ribs. I just hit him in the arm.
1st and 10 for Texas A&M. 3:45 to play here in the third. Keeping it on the ground. Courtney Lewis jumps over the 20 up to the 22-yard line. Pick up about 6 on the play. Marcus Simmons on the stop. Marvin Simmons, older brother Melvin, played for USC last year. Our 1st and 10 line. That's right. Brought to you by Home Depot.
Champ of the champions, right?
That's right.
They're national champions.
2nd down, we'll call it just about 6. Brought it back just a shade. On the ground, Lewis, big holes, got the 1st down and about a yard to spare. Brandon Archer took the legs from underneath him. And Courtney Lewis is one of these backs that's an explosive slasher, and you see it on this.
Watch this. Watch the offensive line blocking right here. I mean, they are just clearing paths as they come. Watch Courtney Lewis. Boom, boom, boom. See that backside blocking? That allowed the hole to the opposite side to occur because of the way the defense jumped. Everyone backside, manned up. Hole occurred. Courtney Lewis diving through it. This is the offensive line you mentioned. They played every snap against Clemson. They're really starting to come together.
Lewis in motion. McNeil keeps it, gets the block, steps outside, maybe should have kept going as he gets up to about the 34-yard line. Jones and Tetuan on the stop. You know, you mentioned that offensive line. This is an offensive line that you like to call flip-flop. They flip-flop. You don't have a left tackle, right tackle per se.
Yeah, they have what they call strong tackle, strong guard, quick tackle, quick guard. They don't call it weak side because that's not manly enough for those guys, so they call it quick. But what they do is they flip-flop to the side that they want to go to, that they want to call the play. In a sense, quick side is the back side, strong side is the side where the receivers go, but they do that so they don't have to double teach every move. You know which side you're going to, and you know what you're going to do on each play, the same techniques.
And there's Lewis trying to get the left side up to the 37-yard line, we'll call it. It'll be about 2 yards short. Now the Big 12 is in full force as far as conference play today. You can see Oklahoma had a very methodical win over Texas Tech. Of course, we'll have Tech on our air next week against Nebraska. Missouri hangs on to beat Colorado, and Kansas holding on. They were leading 5-0, I think, in that ball game over Nebraska. Les Miles has done a great job at Oklahoma State, and Mac Brown's all ready to go down to Dallas.
And a big one for him. I think out of all those scores, Missouri over Colorado, that's the biggest one.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a game Missouri had to win, being a home game for them, and they got it done.
McNeil fakes the run, now looking to throw it out of the flat, tries to throw it away and does. Barely intended for Harris Murphy, and McNeil is down again.
Actually, I think he's fortunate. You know why? You say he's trying to throw it away, but I think he was trying to complete it. And he was just lucky that the ball was short because the coverage was there. They would have come underneath and made a play on the ball. If you're going to throw it away, throw it over to where Coach Fran is.
That's right.
That way you don't have to worry about anyone making a play on the ball. He was just fortunate that the ball grounded before it got there.
Jacob Young at the 22-yard line, standing back to kick this one away. And there's Darren Sproles. He's right back in there at the 25-yard line.
I don't think he's going to be daunted as much as as normal people are. This guy knows he's just one play away from getting his team back into it.
Oh, they were close. Jacob Young slow to get it off. Sproles calls the fair catch at the 30. 33 yards on the kick. Well, let's take a look at tonight's All-State Good Hands play. You're in good hands with All-State. Boone Stutz, the hero of our Clemson game, was involved in one play tonight.
And what a play it was. And not only did Boone tip the ball for a completion, he also tried to go downfield and make a block after the play. So Boone, I know you like fishing, avid bass fisherman.
Yeah.
Did a little volleyball on that play and then became a tight end again with the blocking. Nice job.
He's done a great job blocking tonight. He's been the lead blocker on a lot of plays.
Had 10 knockdowns against Clemson. They wanted him to be a better blocker. He's getting there.
That was 63 seconds left in the third. Kansas State has it. Meyer thrown out on the flat. Pass is complete to Polite. His third reception of the night. Didn't have any receptions versus Louisiana Lafayette a couple of weeks ago. He came in with only 2 receptions, but you go back to last year, he started slowly. First 6 games of last year, he had only 2 receptions. Then he finished in the 20s. He's a slow starter.
He is, but he's a tough guy. He doesn't mind working across the middle also. Antoine Polite in the slot position now. See him right here? He doesn't mind working in this middle area because he'll absorb hits to make catches.
The pass to the tight end, Casey. Penalty flag is thrown back at the 35-yard line. Good fake, though, by Dylan Meyer. Put in the belly of Victor Mann, pulled it right out, fired the pass to Casey. Another penalty. So uncharacteristic of a Bill Snyder team. That'll be their 6th penalty tonight. 5 happening in the first half. That's what they average for a game.
Ineligible. Downfield on the offense. Number 86. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
Okay, then you're going to have to explain that, Charles, because he was the man who caught the pass.
I think the formation got him. What happens is he was probably a covered receiver by an outside formation guy. If you're outside receiver, you need to be a step off of the line so that you're not covering the tight end. Once you cover him, he becomes an ineligible receiver. Brian Casey didn't know that the receiver didn't line up correctly.
So now they go with 3 wide receivers to the right on 2nd and 10. Final play of quarter number 3. Meyer looks, rifles it, intercepted! Cephas Brown to the 5, down to about the 2-yard line. Dylan Meyer made the game, or the touchdown-saving stop, but he threw it right into the hands of Brown.
Well, part of the problem you have with a young quarterback, it's a corner blitz, and Cephas Brown just rotated over, read the eyes of Dylan Meyer, and made the interception. Why is that significant for them in terms of being a young guy? Because Dylan Meyer's got to learn to read them. Texas A&M has it going their way right now.
During the game, complete strangers unite.
Touchdown, Courtney Lewis.
Kodiak 450 automatic 4x4 from Yamaha. Now get a $400 worn winch for just $69.95 on select models.
Welcome back to college football on TBS, part of Big PlayStation Saturday. And as we get set to start the fourth quarter, Texas A&M knocking on the door, already leading 28-17. With Charles Davis, Darren Elliott, I'm Ron Thulin. Welcoming you back to College Station. Brown with his second interception in as many games, had one against Clemson. And again, Kansas State has shot themselves in the foot because of a turnover. First and goal, ball is on the 2. Touchdown, Courtney Lewis. His third rushing touchdown of the night.
Watch to the left side, the blocking tremendous. Number 4, Keith Joseph. Tremendous kick out block from the fullback. Really a pretty easy run overall for Courtney Lewis because of the guys up front and his lead blocker, Keith Joseph.
We want to thank Allstate for providing tonight's goalpost cam. You're in good hands with Allstate. Ingram with the extra point. Sneaks it in that left side. He's got it. Darren Sproles has a fumble, gives him 5 yards for the touchdown. Then the interception, a 2-yard touchdown by Courtney Lewis. The short field, and they're giving up possessions.
Classic favorites. Free every weekend this month on Channel 103. Look for Dolly Parton's new CD and DVD, Live and Well, on sale now.
Fans, it's time to vote for your T-Mobile Player of the Game. Here's how you vote. Pick up your phone. You text A, Reggie McNeil, B, Courtney Lewis, C, Dylan Meyer, or D, Darren Sproles. And then you send it to TBS, and results will be shown a little bit later on. So do that right now. Well, the crowd of about 70,000 like what they see so far is Kansas State, who has lost 3 straight Big 12 openers, on the verge of losing number 4, down by 18.
Only minute 16 in the scoring drives on average for Texas A&M tonight, and 34 yards the average scoring drive. Short field wins for you, doesn't it?
And they've done that a lot tonight. Saba again on a short pooch kick. They don't want Darren Sproles touching it. Now let's take you back to the first half. It'll explain what happened just a moment ago.
Watch the wide receiver for Kansas State, Davin Dennis. He points to the blitzing corner coming from the short field. The safety, Japhus Brown, number 28, supposed to rotate over to coverage. Late getting there. That's the first half. Now watch. Again, now the receiver, Tony Madison, pointing out the blitzing corner. Jonte Buell, number 26. Japhus Brown supposed to rotate over, number 28. I'd say the rotation a lot better in the second half than the first. And that's an interception, led to the touchdown for Texas A&M.
I think Coach Torbush is going to be very pleased when he sees that on tape. Meyer the pump fake, handing it. Sproles to the 30, tripped up, doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Will lose about 2 feet. Nice job by Jonte Buell.
They've seen that play already, A&M has. They ran it in the first half, and you know why it's not effective now? Because Texas A&M is playing in the backfield of Kansas State with their front 7. They are getting the penetration. They're moving the line of scrimmage backwards, so when you run a Statue of Liberty, you're essentially just running right into traffic at this point. They've got to find a way to get the ball downfield, not running it in the backfield.
And you said to keep Darren Sproles about 3 yards a carry. He is about 3.2 yards a carry here in the ballgame. Here comes the blitz again. The quick slant in pass complete to Madison. Gets the first down, but he pays for it. Keelan Jackson came up with a huge hit. Jackson Appel was setting him up, and Jackson just finished off the deal.
Yeah, that's about 10 yards and a headache right there, but Kansas State will take the headache because they got a first down. If we look at the running back comparison for the evening, touches, not quite the same, just a little bit less for Courtney Lewis. He's made a little bit more in the average. Both dropped the ball a little bit tonight, but 3 touchdowns for Courtney Lewis, 2 turnovers for Darren Sproles.
First and 10 for Kansas State. Plenty of time left. Meyer running the option again. Keeps it, and he's going to get right back to the line of scrimmage and nothing else. Well, Bill Snyder was going to run a little option with a wide receiver trailing that time.
These plays are very slow developing. Watch coming from here. This is going to be figures. He'll be the option guy for Dylan Meyer coming back around. But because they're taking so long and A&M is attacking upfield, they're able to smother the plays before they get started.
Keelan Jackson, 8 tackles on the game, and he held his position, very patient. And you can see what Kansas State has done rushing the football. 2.8. They came in averaging almost 5 yards a rush. Here comes the blitz again. Incomplete. Looked like it was intended for Jermaine Morera. Let's go down to Darren Elliott. D.
Hey guys, from field level, speed on both sides of the ball, big advantage for Texas A&M. They were worried about it with the offense, but the defense right now much quicker than the offense of K-State.
Yeah, it's a great point, Darren, because the other thing that makes you quicker is confidence. And right now, A&M has it all going their way. So when you're confident chasing the football or carrying out your assignments, that's when coaches get excited because then you're playing faster.
Playing fast, which both coaches said they needed their guys to play fast tonight. 3rd down and 12. A&M brings 5. Myers pass complete, short of the first down. Getting down to about the 48-yard line. Figures again. That'll bring up a 4th down. We'll call it 5.
Got to go for it at this stage of the ball game, I think. I know that there's still 12 to 12 and a half to go. But they don't get many opportunities, and they're down really 2 scoring opportunities in the second half because of turnovers. I think Bill Snyder has to find a way to get this offense kick-started, and this is one way to try it on a 4th down attempt.
They're 2 for 2 tonight on 4th down. 3 of 5 on the year coming into tonight.
Here they come.
Here they come. They bring everybody. Myers scrambling, throwing. First down again. Brian Casey, another clutch reception by the big tight end.
Melvin Bullitt, number 18, will eventually come free and put the pressure on Meyer, but Jackson Appel, number 19, has to have the coverage on Brian Casey, the big tight end, late getting there, and a big, big first down for Kansas State. Bill Snyder's rolled the dice a few times tonight, and I think he's been successful every time. Gone for it on 4th down, got it, right? Fake punt, got it, and got it again here.
Casey's 3rd reception. The drive is alive. Meyer again to Casey. Maybe picked up 2 on the play. You talk about the rushing yards in this Kansas State, and in this ball game they've rushed for 109 yards. It's not going to get any easier because the next 3 teams they play are in the top 20 in rushing defense.
And that's why the pass game has to continue to improve in order to try and open up some avenues for Darren Sproles and Thomas Clayton to get some carries and get some space. Look at that under pressure tonight. Not just the sacks. Look at the hits and the knockdowns on him and the hurries.
Or the hits, and they have come hard. Meyer looking to set up the screen, and he does to Sproles. Has some running room. Splits the defense inside the 25, down to the 23. Melvin Bullitt on the stop. He is so dangerous when he gets the football, and that's the first real play we've seen him with any kind of daylight.
And this is where it becomes tough because this guy right here, Justin Miller, coming for the blitz. When he decides to come, what happens then is it vacates the open space in the middle. See all that right there? That allows Darren Sproles to run free. It's tough for Carl Torbush. Do I keep my guy blitzing or do I get him back in coverage? 13-yard gain for Kansas State.
Another first down. They set it up again. Sproles again. Inside the 20, down to the 15. That could be another first down. It'll be close. Red Bryant on the stop. I guess you can go to the well one more time.
How about that chess match now? Bill Snyder versus Carl Torbush. Back-to-back plays, he guessed correctly that Carl Torbush would bring the middle linebacker. And in both situations, now the running back's unaccounted for to slip out for the screen. This led to 2 nice gains, a first down and now 2nd and short.
This is the 10th play of the drive. It's second and less than 1.
Meyer checking off.
Here comes A&M again. Meyer pump fakes, throws in the Pater. Incomplete. Jackson Appel on the coverage of Tony Madison, and it was excellent coverage by Appel. Check that, it was Melvin Bullitt on the coverage.
Watch this in college football. You know what you can get away with? What people call face guarding. But what he did there was very good. Melvin Bullitt looking right into the receiver, and his hands came up when he saw Tony Madison, the receiver's hands come up, and he played through the football. Excellent technique by Melvin Bullitt.
Well, there was a throwaway down. It's still third and less than 1. Meyer just pushes it across, and he gets over the 15. That'll be good enough for a first down.
Marcus Jasper made a stop. Was to the 14-yard line.
See where they mark it, though. Looked like he was way over the
I didn't think there was any question.
No, I didn't think so either.
I thought that was one of the easier calls for the officials of the evening, and it looks like it is a first down for Kansas State.
I hesitated. I thought they were going to come out and measure it. About 12th play of the drive. They've had it over 5 minutes. Time of possession. They've had the ball almost 31 minutes in the game for 14 and a half for Texas A&M.
How about that? 8 passes on this drive out of 11 plays.
On first down, Meyer again. Down to the 5-yard line. Tony Madison, the senior.
Caught by number 7, Tony Madison.
His first receptions of the year tonight.
By number 16, Eric May.
You know, we've all watched Kansas State over the years, and one characteristic of their offense has always been the option.
Yeah.
They've always had the quarterback who can execute it and the running backs that can do it. But tonight, Carl Torbush and the way that they've played the option has really limited Bill Snyder and how he's had to call it, because we haven't really seen it in the second half.
That's right.
Because of the way they forced the issue, and ordinarily this would be a great spot for it.
You can see the numbers on Meyer. First and goal. Ball is on the 4. Sproles stopped at the 5-yard line. He'll lose about a yard. Elon Jackson comes crashing in, following behind Mike Montgomery.
Watch big 95, top of your screen. Just stays at home, plays off the block, folds inside. Big hit. This is a guy who's one of their leading slam dunkers in their Night of Champions strength event.
That's right.
Mike Montgomery can get up and play. Of course, he gets it honestly. His mother is a Hall of Famer at Stephen F. Austin for basketball. Rosie Kellum, one of the all-time greats for the Lady Jacks.
Well, it's second and goal now from the 5-yard line. Meyer keeps it. Dips inside, gets down to about the 3-yard line. That'll bring up a third and goal. Green coming up to make the stop. We weren't sure how much Renuel Green would even be playing tonight.
It looks like he got hurt on the play. Might have hurt his hand making the play or a shoulder. We're not really sure. We'll get a report later on.
Well, he was dinged up coming into the contest.
But Blake Kendrick, number 58, will come into the lineup for him now. The former walk-on with a scholarship who actually started this evening because Renuel Tay Green has missed some time with injury.
Everybody is standing, and it is loud. Third and goal from the 3.
Ordinarily, I would say option here for Kansas State, but they haven't had much success running it this evening.
Dylan Meyer is going to burn another timeout. He'll have 1 remaining in the final 7 minutes of 42 seconds, and we're going to take a break. 35-17 is our score. Kansas State knocking on the door, and they need it.
Well, this is it, team. The day we bought
20 yards. He's going to be coming up straight ahead immediately following our game in a very important Pac-10 game. As we take a look at the Pac-10 standings, Arizona State 1-0 already in conference play. USC, Washington State, UCLA, and Cal right behind. So this is a big game. And Mike Bellotti, it's the first conference game, must-win situation for him.
Yeah, how about that? USC gets Cal next week. And then after that, Arizona State goes to take on the Trojans. 2 big games for USC in the next 2 weeks. And a huge third down here.
Sproles will be in the backfield. 3rd and goal from the 3.
Used a lot of quarterback run game with Meyer.
From the shotgun. A&M brings 5, throws, touchdown, Kansas State. Jermaine Morera, his first touchdown reception of the year. Great call, though, by Bill Snyder.
You know what he did on that play? He isolated on the weakest coverage guy in the secondary for A&M, which is Jackson Appel, their free safety. One of the great hitters in the conference, dare I say the country, is Appel. But his coverage skills against a wide receiver is going to be tough for him. Great job by Bill Snyder. It looks like they're going to go for 2 here.
35-23. They're going for 2. 7:38 to play. Martinez, the punter, wide to the left. They keep it on the ground. Stopped at the 2-yard line. Figures no place to go. Keelan Jackson again coming up to make the stop. Well, it started with this pass for the touchdown. Morera, his first touchdown of the year, and then the 2-point conversion on the run by Figures to no avail. Texas A&M still has the lead.
Raymond. Carrie.
Raymond. Angel.
Samantha.
Carrie.
Charlotte.
Monica.
Carrie. Joey.
Ross. Chandler. George. Jerry. Monica.
Meg. Charlotte. Kramer.
George. Newman.
Jerry. Ray.
Deborah.
Joey.
Phoebe. Monica.
Carrie.
So many options. It's awesome.
DirecTV DVR. Call 1-866 get a DVR for this special offer.
Kansas State scored on the first possession of the game, but since then it has been Texas A&M. They lead 35-23, and part of the thing is that Darren Sproles only 4 yards rushing on 4 carries in the second half. Another short kick at the 17-yard line. Up to the 25-yard line. Terrence Thomas, and that's where Texas A&M will begin with 7:34 to play. College football on CBS, brought to you by the Home Depot. Go from wondering how to knowing how. At the Home Depot, you can do it, we can help. Chili's, want more flavor in your life? Come to Chili's. The U.S. Postal Service, with more new ways to use us than ever before. The U.S. Postal Service is working for you. And the United States Army, an army of one. Just down the road, the George Bush Library. President Bush usually makes an appearance at Texas A&M games. Not here tonight. Even brought my camera. I was all set for that. He's watching somewhere.
That's why he's not here.
That's right.
He didn't want you to bother him.
That's right.
I had my camera too.
Hey, it's a chance.
Exactly.
Governor of Texas walks by. I go, hi, Governor Perry. Yeah, we'll see you later.
Yeah, we don't get ready. They don't want to talk to us.
Courtney Lewis maybe picks up about 4 on the play, and now the clock on the side of Dennis Franchione.
And right now, what Coach Fran's looking at on his play sheet, and I'm sure he told his offensive line, guys, I'd like to put this on you right now. I want to eat up some clock.
Yep.
I want to control the football. I want to gain some yardage. You guys talk about being tough guys. Let's see. Show me something right here on this drive.
And that goes back to the Clemson game. On the ground. Lewis close to the first down because Texas A&M got the ball the last 5.5 minutes of the Clemson game, and they just ran out the clock. And our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Home Depot. And that's where they need to get. The red line is the line of scrimmage. We'll call it 3. 3rd down and 3.
And A&M has put in another blocker, Taylor Schuster, wearing number 90, is coming to the ball game. Boone Stutz, number 88, also in the ball game. So you got double tight ends right there trying to give some blocking for Courtney Lewis.
And Lewis has it. Tries to back to the outside. Excellent defense by Kansas State. He'll be dropped back at the 29-yard line. Loss of about 4 on the play. First hit by Marvin Simmons, the junior out of Compton, California. Brett Jones also coming in to finish things up.
Great job. This was a counter play. Schuster, number 90, but right there, Kevin Huntley, number 52, helps blow it up, as does Marvin Simmons. Penetration into the backfield on a counter play is essential to stopping it. Huntley, 52, Simmons, 55, forced the play deeper. They were able to tackle him. Jones tackled him and finished it off. Excellent defensive possession for Kansas State.
Well, the last time Jacob Young punted, they got very close to blocking it. Here they come again. And it's almost blocked again. No penalty flag. Boy, how did they miss that? Finally stopped at about the 37-yard line. 33 yards on the kick. Now let's take a look at our pioneer play of the game. We've had a lot of dandies tonight. But this is the interception by Brown.
Yeah, a lot to choose from, but Japhus Brown rotating over as a safety after the corner blitz. Covering Tony Madison, picks it off and runs it back. A&M scored a touchdown a couple plays later. That's part of the reason that they lead, 35-23.
But boy, Texas A&M got a break there because...
How did he not block
I don't see how he didn't block it. There's the 3 turnovers by Kansas State. That's accounted for 3 touchdowns by A&M.
And the 6 penalties doesn't seem like much, but they came at critical times and helped become drive stoppers. And
Meyer looking, throwing in the flat, passes incomplete, hit the ground, intended for Polite. How did Dylan Meyer even hear anything at that point?
I'm not sure that they are. I think they've got to get into their silent count stuff. And look at this, trying to get his arms underneath it.
Oh, boy.
Great effort. I'm not sure he didn't catch it, to be honest with you. Antoine Polite, that's a great effort getting his hands underneath.
Tough call by the official.
Yes, it is. He's
Very
right on the spot. He had a better view than I did from where he was. But it was close.
5:07 to play. 2nd and 10. They only rushed 4. Myers got some time. Going for the home run ball for Madison. Did he get it? No, incomplete. And a penalty flag is thrown.
But they will get an interference call. Fortunately for A&M, it'll come back and only be 15 yards instead of a spot foul as it would be in the NFL.
Eric Mays on the coverage.
How about this? Carl Torbush choosing to drop people into coverage here and not really rush the quarterback. Meyer, a rainbow. Watch of Madison all the way back over his head, not even to one side. Definitely interfered with. Catches it and both feet are in.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I thought he caught it at first.
This looks like a good catch to me. Watch. He's interfered right there. Now there's the catch, and he goes down. I thought that he had both feet in as he catches it. Watch his feet at the end. Hear me? Catch. See both feet dragging? Right there?
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness, yes. That's a catch.
That's a catch.
But not there. It's 15 yards. Got a first down, but what a great effort by Tony Madison.
But still, it goes back about 30 yards, 30, 40 yards.
Yeah, field position, that hurts him there.
A&M now with 8 in the box. They bring the team. Little slip screen again to Sproles. Gets the first down as he crosses the 40, gets down about the 38-yard line. Byron Jones with his 9th tackle of the ball game. That's the only play that really seems to be consistently working for Kansas State.
And for Darren Sproles. Hasn't really been able to get on track, carrying the ball out of his tailback spot, but the slip screen has been excellent. The only thing that's saving A&M right now is good tackling downfield after the screen.
Meyer on 1st and 10, wings it out into the flat. Passes complete to Madison, short of the first down. Texas A&M's defense, is this a case, and you're a former defender, is Carl Torbush saying just keep the guys in front of us at this point?
I think he would like to, but I think that Bill Snyder is actually locked into a good rhythm in play calling right now, because it appears that every time A&M blitzes, he's able to get the slip screen in. It's almost like Bill Snyder has said, you blitz me, I'll throw the screen. If you drop into coverage, I'll throw it out wide to my receivers or to Casey, my tight end.
2nd down and 1. 4:40 to play in the ball game. They'll run the option. Meyer racked up. Maybe picked up about a half a yard. Looks like he'll be just a shade short of the first down. Montgomery on the stop. That'll be his 7th tackle tonight. They'll call it 3rd down and 1. Quickly, Kansas State lines up. Clock is running, 4:20 to play.
And they're down to the 1 timeout, so they have to think ahead. They have to score here and try and get it back and try and score again.
They need 2 touchdowns. Meyer will get the 1st down, and that will stop the clock. That's why they went for 2 points. In case you were wondering after that last touchdown, why go for 2? They wanted to be just 10 points behind, not as much as they are right now.
And it was also time of the game. You're into the 4th quarter now. They always talk about not chasing points. In the 4th quarter, you need to chase them.
Now the Big 12 Conference kicking off today, and I'll tell you, this is far from over.
Yeah, in earnest. Last week it was Kansas and Texas Tech to lead everything off, but today, pretty well full slate. Now we're taking a look. The perennials on the south side, Oklahoma and Texas, but on the north side, that's going to be a race all year long. Missouri, Nebraska right now. Nebraska off. Colorado took their first loss of the season. But I think those top 4 teams in the north will slug it out all year long for the title.
All those people that are naysayers about the Big 12 Conference, it's still a long season, my friends. How about tonight, Dylan Meyer? He has rushed the ball 21 times. On the season, he had rushed the ball 22 times. Good passing yardage, too. 1st and 10 inside of 4 minutes. Into the flat. Pass is complete. Morera. His 2nd reception.
What a nice job. Morera cutting to the outside. And when I say nice job, look at the catch.
Oh, yeah.
And then Morera having enough presence to be able to turn inside, make the catch, and try and locate the 1st down marker while getting out of bounds, saving them some time with 3:55 on the clock. Good job all the way around by number 10, Jermaine Morera.
2nd reception tonight, 4th of the season for Morera. 2nd down and 1. Meyer, the quick pass, caught. This could be 6. Morera again, touchdown! This one's not over. Morera with his 2nd touchdown of the year and tonight.
Remember earlier we showed you the rotation of the defensive back over to make the interception, Japhus Brown. In this case, he didn't rotate over because of a blitz, but was about a half step behind getting out to cover Jermaine Morera. And the lesson is absorbed one more time. If you come underneath, you have to get the football. If not, it usually turns into a big play. Another touchdown for Kansas State.
A career night for Morera. The extra point by Ream is good. Morera, no career touchdowns coming into tonight. He's got 2 here in College Station, and Kansas State right back into it.
Raymond. Carrie.
Raymond. Angel.
Samantha.
Carrie.
Charlotte.
Monica.
Carrie. Joey.
Ross. Chandler. George. Jerry. Monica.
Meg. Charlotte. Kramer.
George. Newman.
Jerry. Ray.
Deborah.
Joey.
Phoebe. Monica.
Jerry. Chandler. Phoebe. Ross.
Jerry.
Ross.
Kramer.
Phoebe.
TBS, the funniest place in primetime. Weeknights at 8, starting Monday on TBS.
The Kia Sedona with a 5-star safety rating.
Do you do that? It seems like there's still a lot of time left.
It's a lot of time. You know, the problem that Bill Snyder, the head coach of Kansas State, is facing, he only has 1 timeout left.
That's right.
So that's probably factoring into his decision.
We've got a timeout. I think Texas A&M has decided to talk about it. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson with some Fresno State scores. Ernie. Gotcha.
All right, thank you very much, Ron. Fresno State is in trouble against Louisiana Tech. Ryan Moats, he's rushed for nearly 230 yards on the night. That's his 4th touchdown, and they lead 28-21 with just a couple of minutes to go at Louisiana Tech. And remember, coming up next year on TBS, Andrew Walter and Arizona State trying to stay unbeaten, trying to run their record to 5-0, but they'll have to do it on the road at Oregon. It's next here on TBS, but still some unfinished business, I would say. Let's go back to Ron.
I'll tell you what, we've had 2 pretty decent weeks. USC Stanford last week, Kansas State A&M tonight, and of course Arizona State, Oregon coming up immediately following. But here's Bill Snyder. He looks like he's going to do the onside kick. At practice on Thursday, A&M worked extensively with their hands team, trying to make sure they got the right people out there. Coach Franchione spends a lot of time on special teams, and he understands how important it is in a situation just like this.
And don't forget that on the onside kick, it's not always just skimming it along the ground and trying to hit the big hop. But if you are Texas A&M, you've got to be aware of they may try and pop it beyond the second level and sprint their guys down there in order to try and get it. They just showed onside kick and made Texas A&M take a timeout. Now they're showing that they're going to go ahead and kick it deep.
And you still have to be careful.
Yeah, you still have to be careful. You don't know what they're going to do.
And they do boot it deep.
And go through the end zone.
I hope it gets to the end zone, and it does. 3:49 to play. That's what A&M has to work with. We showed you how big football is here in Texas. Just a couple of miles away, Waco had A&M consolidated right on the ropes. Big high school football game in Class 5A Friday night. The Tigers hit the Lions with a stunning combination that decided the battle between these two teams. The Tigers outlasted Waco 14-6 at Tigerland Stadium. And now just tonight, we got another biggie.
And that was homecoming.
And it's homecoming.
Yes, it was. Look at the total yards this half. Kansas State running their offense very effectively. A&M was in a little bit of a shell on the last one. Now I think they have to run a little offense in order to try and seal this one down.
Straight ahead running with Courtney Lewis. Jermaine Berry there to stack them up. Once again, Kansas State, one timeout left. Bill Snyder doesn't want to do anything about stopping the clock now, just in case he gets the football back.
What he's counting on is being able to get a 3 and out and get the football back with about a minute and a half to go in the ball game. Somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe leaving a little bit more time on the clock, but they've got to get a 3 and out. They've got to force a punt from A&M.
Now let's see the maturity of Reggie McNeil. Does he work the clock effectively here? Next it with 5, penalty flag is thrown. Fumble, ball is loose. I think A&M may have gotten it back. Oh my goodness, we've got penalty flags on both sides of the field, on the near side and the far side.
People a little anxious about this.
You don't have a turnover your first couple of games of the year, and you have one already tonight, and you almost come up with another.
We have illegal formation on the offense.
Well, the clock is stopped, and Bill Snyder likes it, and the faithful here get a little nervous.
Illegal formation on the offense. Penalties decline.
Yep, ball's out right there.
Yep.
Ball moved on me a little bit, but the ball was out right there. Good alert play by the offensive line getting on it. But they are in such a shell offensively right now. I know Coach Fran senses it. He doesn't want to have a turnover here. But I'm not sure he's comfortable with continuing to pound inside, even on 3rd and long here. That he might try and get Reggie McNeil out on the corner with some type of run-pass option and let him make the decision.
Don't forget the last time they punted, Kansas State almost got a piece of it. McNeil rolling, buying some time, throws out on the flat, short of the first down, incomplete anyway.
How about the emotion on the Kansas State bench? They've turned this game around.
That's the Kansas State defense that we have come to know. Bill Snyder has always said the defining factor of his team is defense. We've seen it raise up tonight.
Right now, people probably asking, do you go after the punter if you're of A&M? And I say no, because you don't want to risk running in, roughing him, and having a penalty give Texas A&M a first down or another shot at it. I want the return. You're going to get great field position and let number 43 handle it.
Darren Sproles has handled already tonight a couple of times. They're not going after it. Nice high spiraling calls for fair catch, and they will get great field position at the 48-yard line. Only 33 yards on the kick. But when you look at the success of Kansas State, it starts with number 9 on offense, Dylan Meyer.
The sophomore who is growing up in front of us. He's had some tough moments with timeouts and clock management, throwing an interception in there that was returned and led to a touchdown. But overall tonight, he's made some key throws and some big runs, and he's absorbed a lot of the pressure that Darren Sproles has had trouble with tonight. I don't mean pressure on Sproles, but he hasn't been able to break loose, so Dylan Meyer's gotten it done. 2 touchdown drives, the last 2 possessions, engineered by number 9.
2:32 to work with. Just over 50 yards to Pater. They have one timeout.
Keep an eye on the middle of the field, Ron. Justin Warren, number 10, the linebacker, will dictate the defense.
They bring 5. Meyer swings it out. Is it intercepted? No, incomplete. Coach Franchione, we've got a penalty flag because I think too many guys ran out on the field. Soon as they called it incomplete, Coach Fran ran on the field and the penalty flags came.
Let's take a look. Tony Madison, ball pops up into the air off of his chest, leaping for the interception, trying to grab it. Eric Mays, body blocked it off on the opposite side. Let's take a look on the other side.
We have a dead ball.
Ball's up.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Texas A&M bench. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Ball was down.
Ball was down.
An excellent call by the officials. He's smothered it with his body. Ball hit the ground. Not a catch. And Coach Fran, who will be preaching to his team about discipline all the time, that was him leading the charge on the field, unfortunately.
He was followed by a bunch of guys wearing the maroon, but
that's critical right there for field position.
He's saying you can't call that. Now watch everybody come off the field, lower portion of your screen.
Bottom of the screen coming out.
Right there. The official calls incomplete, and here they come. There's Coach Fran right there.
They are, right in there.
Here we go. 2:26 to play. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Meyer into the flat again. Incomplete. Excellent coverage. Pass intended for Polite. Byron Jones on the coverage. Just a reminder, if you think this is good, wait till our next game. Walter against Clemens. Arizona State versus Oregon. Bob Neal, Tom Ramsey, Craig Sager standing by from Oregon. We'll have that right when we're done. 2nd and 10. Looks left, throws, pass complete, pick up a 5 on the play to Marrera. Dante Buell on the coverage, and the clock stops. Only 7 seconds ticked off, 2:15 to play, but 3rd and 5.
You know, Dylan Meyer's done so well picking up the blitz in most of the second half that I think has caused Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator for Texas A&M, to not go after him as much. A lot more dropping into coverage, giving Meyer time to find a receiver. Let's see if he rolls the dice here and decides to go after him on a 3rd down situation.
When they've gone to Casey, the tight end. Meyer changing the play. 5 to snap. Here comes the rush. Meyer, the little look in. Oh, Texas A&M read it. Marrera is dumped by Brock Newton.
You can't throw this type of a route against what they call a hard corner. Brock Newton up in press coverage, never backed off. If you throw it short there, the defender's already on the play. Brock Newton, great job following the receiver inside.
And this is it, 4th down. Meyer pump fakes, looks for Pater. They're going to get him. Got it to Sproles just in time. It'll be short of the 1st down, and that's going to do it. The 3,500 that have come from Manhattan, not much to cheer. Meyer looked like he was going to be dumped. Got it to Darren Sproles.
How about this play by Dylan Meyer? Great play on defense by A&M, but as he goes down, he knows his 4th down. This is his last shot. And if, look at that, he ran into his center, Mike Johnson, number 60, Darren Sproles. If he doesn't, I think we have a much bigger opportunity for them to pick up the 1st down, keep the drive alive. Bill Snyder talking with his young quarterback, and I know what he's saying. You know something, son? I think you grew up big tonight.
It's been a tough night for Sproles. Partner, you said keep him to 3 yards rushing. You'll have a chance to beat him. He has averaged 3 yards rushing the football. 20 rushes, 61 total yards. How about only 27 yards since then. 4 yards rushing in the second half.
Best plays that we've seen from him in the second half have been screen passes. And they're able to slip him out of the backfield. Good pass rush from Texas A&M. They decided to go after him here. He slips underneath, but look at him with the underhand pass as he escaped. The defensive lineman, number 92, Chris Harrington, and Keelan Jackson, and this is unfortunate for Texas A&M. The game he has played tonight has just been absolutely tremendous. So let's hope that this young man is not hurt very much and can get back on the field for A&M quickly in the future.
9 tackles for Jackson, not putting any weight on that right leg.
Well, Carl Torbush couldn't say enough good about him yesterday in our meeting with him, could he?
Oh, yeah.
He's been one of the keys to the revamped defense.
Ball security now the key for Texas A&M. Keith Joseph in the backfield. Kansas State only 1 timeout left. Joseph gets up to the 35-yard line, pickup of 2. Quentin Eccles on the stop. First time we called his name tonight. Yeah, we talked about every other game after a monstrous game. He hasn't fared quite well, and you can see that trend has continued.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier in the ball game. Fantastic game over 200, then held to less than 40 yards. Over 200, again less than 40, over 200 tonight, 62. Now, in all fairness to Darren, if Kansas State fans will point out that last year he had 273 yards against Missouri, then 235 against Oklahoma. But the pattern still remains true. Great game, the next game not as good.
Joseph picks up a couple of yards as the clock goes inside of 48. And I think Kansas State will burn their final timeout.
They're going to put it into this 3rd down play here. 48 seconds to go.
Well, you know, let's talk about Kansas State, because this team, they could have pitched the tent and gone home and said, hey, warm up the bus, we're ready to leave. Bill Snyder's team did not give up tonight. An exceptional effort. They just had the penalties and the fumbles. You look at their schedule, it doesn't get any easier. Big battle next week in Lawrence. Then they've got to play Oklahoma, Nebraska, Tech, Missouri. But look at that. Oklahoma, Nebraska, Tech, all at home.
Thing for them that they have. Now they got the Sunflower State game with Kansas next week.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tougher one for them than it has been in recent years. Mark Mangino has his team playing at a much higher level and probably should have snuck away with 1 or 2 wins already this year. Had Texas Tech down big. But you mentioned those 3 games in Manhattan, where Kansas State perennially has been very, very tough to deal with. They are the defending Big 12 Conference champions. Don't expect them to just go away easily into the night.
And with Missouri winning today against Colorado, if the schedule plays out, they will have to go to Missouri on November 6th. Texas A&M, they go to Iowa State next week. Of course, A&M was winless on the road in conference play last year. Dan McCartney's team is really struggling up there. But still, Texas A&M, after that opening loss to Utah, has really gotten this train back on track.
Huge 3rd down, obviously, here. See what Texas A&M decides here, whether they just want to run it inside since they're out of timeouts.
That'll take a little bit of time off the clock, and that's exactly what McNeil's going to do, and he's got some running room. To the 40. He's just going to blow by everybody. Goodbye, Reggie.
To the block right there in the backfield. That sprang Reggie McNeil. Number 24, Chris Alexander. They call him Thumper for the way he runs the football. That time he used it in his blocking. And then once Reggie McNeil gets a straight line path, he runs like wide receivers run. A 4.3, 4.4 sprinter takes Texas A&M to a big win.
62 yards, a career-long touchdown run for Reggie McNeil. Egren for the extra point, and it is good. Ernie Johnson, I hope you have something as exciting as this.
Well, I've kind of got an update.
He understood that, and a lot of coaches after a tough year, the first thing they do is jettison some staff. Coach Fran has the same exact staff back again because he knew they were great guys to work with, and here they are.
Io Saba with 34 seconds. He'll actually be in the book for kickoff returns. But Coach Fran, that Clemson game looming big, gave them confidence because you go down to the final couple of minutes here. They're only up by 5. They showed poise. They showed confidence on both sides of the football.
What a way to end the evening for them, because the defense came through when they needed to. When it appeared they really had it locked away, Kansas State came back on them, but the defense made the big plays when necessary, and the offense salted it away on the last drive.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of Dylan Meyer in the next couple of years. This young man's did yeoman's work tonight, taking the shots, taking the hits.
And something about senior quarterbacks in Bill Snyder's team.